Right, here we go. You crazy bastards. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to our little game of D&D with the useless pucks, mucks, lucks, chucks. Last time out, you guys fought the orcs outside of the druid camp. Fought your way inside, cleared the threat, and upon making your way in, were summoned to see the leader of the camp, who happened to be Fenrir, Baldwin's grandfather. A stoic and harsh man who essentially said that he was concerned about traitors that had been leading orcs to their location, and to Silverleaf Grove itself, which you previously visited. All of this in the hunt of one of the shards of the Shattered Obelisk. which you had been given a clue that may be here or may be in the possession of the Silverleaf Druids. After a brief conversation with Fenrir, you made your way to Baldwin's father's tent and met his father and his mother and discussed the intricacies of Baldwin's return. They left you in that tent to ponder the day that had been, and you have taken a long rest, so feel free to go ahead and do that in Foundry if you haven't already. Lexi, how are you manifesting sleep at the moment?
How am I manifesting sleep?
What are you doing? Were you sleeping in a bedroll? Have you found a bucket? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'd say he's gone classic, the classic bucket mode.
Classic.
He somehow acquired one.
Yeah.
Oh, it was dry.
Cool. And tell me, what does Lexi normally dream? And if he does, what does he dream about? Do you think?
Varies wildly.
Is that always a wet dream?
Well, for a man who is consistently wet, in a way.
That's what I mean.
Occasionally he has a weird thing called a dry dream.
What the fuck?
No, he's
Starting strong, I see.
inconsistent adventures where doors lead on to different, completely separate locations, epic beasts, random, elderly women, completely inconsistent, whatever happens, occasional eldritch horror.
Does he not dream of Baldwin these days?
Oh yeah, he's
I think he
been
already has.
inconsistent.
Well, on this night,
I don't think he cares about the ceremony anymore.
Oh,
on this night, your dreams are far less lucid and confusing. Lexi finds himself in a dream, and he knows he is consciously, subconsciously. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't, he's not sure. But you stand on a hill in a pleasant Faerun material world meadow, looking out over into a small town as miners make their way from the south path inwards as you look across the town of Phandalin. You take a moment to breathe in the fresh air. Something creeps into your vision. Felt this before. Dark tentacles creep in from the sides of your vision. Your vision begins to blur and the surrounding begins to darken. As you focus, you see the town of Phandalin ablaze with dark, eldritch, purple and black flame. The citizens run in panic as their friends and their family are twisted into tormented figures, mutated with many eyes, tentacles, teeth. Their bodies bend and twist backwards as they engulf the people around them. Horrified, you rub your eyes to clear the vision. A vain attempt that this dream will pass. As you do, Phandalin itself in the distance shifts and morphs into somewhere more familiar. Find yourself motionless. The sky above changes to a deep black spacescape, stars glistening. The town beyond you is still ablaze, but it's not Fandolin. It's home. You were rushed from your place upon the hill to somewhere less known. A tall, black rock-faced mountain. The cliffside glistens and sheens, and within its face is a dark hole, a cavern entrance. You stand outside of it, unable to move, the thoughts of your home ablaze, Fandolin ablaze, and then from within the cave is a roar that shakes your jelly. Wibbly wobbly.
The horror.
The horror. And as you focus and look into the cave, you see a pair of glowing yellow eyes that blink off in the distance. You rub your eyes again as these dark tendrils make their way across your vision. And when you open your eyes, you're in the tent. Friends are asleep around you.
I like to imagine, in shock of this, Lexi knocks over the bucket, falls right into his armor stand. That falls over onto Lexi Jr. Lexi Jr. just startles awake, starts kicking at random things in the vicinity.
Wait, is Lexi Jr. in this tent?
Yeah, I told you before. His front half sticking through. It's just
Is he just
back half out the door.
I thought it went.
He's around. Yeah, he's around until he perishes.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's how fine steed works. Oh God. I mean, I'm getting a call from someone else. Ignore that. Oh my! What time is it? He says to no one in particular.
There's a.
You're right.
The tents.
Yeah.
The daylight is making its way in through the crack in the tent entrance, and the sunlight now beams down onto the canvas.
One of the druids turned into a rooster and went coop. Waking up the whole camp.
Is this tent? This is like a like we're all sleeping in the same tent, essentially, aren't we?
Yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
small tent. It's very large. It's round and it stands about 6-7 feet tall at the center. It slopes down. It's like one of those really fancy glamping tents.
Yeah, no
That's the word
sexy
I've
time
heard
for you,
before.
Laborin.
Ooh,
What's
like
it
that
going
fancy
to?
Harry Potter one when they're on the run. Like one of those.
Yeah, a bit like that. Yeah.
Well, it's
Lexi,
the time.
What's all
Wake up, people.
What's all the racket about?
No,
Sloshing in their bucket.
we all do it occasionally. I don't know what happened to my voice.
I
We all do it occasionally.
I just float. I don't really sleep, so I can't relate.
You float.
Yeah, I float.
Anyway.
I get into a meditation stance, like trance, and I just kind of like float. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Never noticed before? That's what elves do.
No, I'm usually focusing on other things when I'm unconscious. I apologize for not paying more attention.
Well,
to
you
while I sleep.
never been on watch?
He's
I
not
respect
watching you. That's the point.
He should be. That's the point.
I'll be sure to keep a close eye in the future. Anyway, it's just
I feel quite comfortable that Lexi's not literally watching us all sleep.
You have no idea where I'm looking. I have no eyes.
But to be fair, Laborin, you and I don't get an awful lot of sleep.
Why do you think sleep in so much?
Anyway, I guess we should start the day. I'd very much like to forget what I just saw.
What
Uh,
would that be?
what, inside
You were
what was it?
tossing and turning.
Just,
Was there a spider in there? What happened?
if there was a spider in there, I would have smote it upon sight. But
I
no,
object.
I had a vision during the night, quite a horrifying one.
Oh,
Like all dreams,
Did you
Lexi.
You mayhaps it was quite of a different variety than the dreams of heroism and other activities I dream about.
do you normally have premonitions?
Who knows at this point? I could not confirm nor deny that fact. I've had many dreams, very few of which have come true.
Did it feel particularly real, more lucid than usual?
Yes, it was. Quite a lot of it was burning, and
Mm.
I'd personally would like to lean away from that angle. I'm not fond of it. Bandolin on fire. My tribe in the astral plane on fire.
Oh no.
That flipping cliff face.
Yeah, it sounds terrible. I really hope that was a nightmare, but I'm
Yeah.
saying it's not.
I'm just, again, I could confirm nor deny. I have no idea, and
Either way,
while I
won't
have
let it
no
happen.
idea about a lot of things, it does scare me.
Absolutely, I'd be horrified if I had a nightmare about my grove on fire, and turns out it was actually true. I didn't have to have a dream; it happened. So
Thank
I
you.
can't understand that.
You're really putting some confidence in me that all will be well.
Well, at least we have a heads up. I didn't get a heads up, so we
Although,
can. If it
hopefully, we won't need a heads up because hopefully
would have
that
stopped it.
isn't going to be a consistent thing.
Absolutely not.
You lot have probably had very morbid dreams before. You sort of I feel a slight glance at you, Willow.
Mhm.
You can't.
Morbid
He has no
dreams are
eyes. So you
kind of
can't
my
tell.
specialty.
Daydreams and all that.
Yeah, but you've had these dreams while awake, so. Yeah. Don't know what I can
Shimmer
say.
will go over and give Lexi a hug and say that whatever it was, it will be okay.
Thank you, Shin.
And then after the
track
hug, she will
record.
go and get dressed.
Understandable. Yeah. I'll pick up my armor and get dressed as well. Because I'd still knocked that over and landed on the horse.
That poor horse must be traumatized.
Is it the same horse every time you summon it? Does it like come back to life?
I mean, it doesn't specify, but I imagine so.
It's
Yeah,
not Elden
definitely
Ring.
traumatized.
So as you guys are preparing for the day, the flap of the tent opens and in walks a halfling boy. For a halfling,
Excuse me, we're changing.
he looks about maybe 12, 13 years old. He's wearing familiar clothing, but much poorer than some of the other people that you've seen. Very reminiscent of other people that you've seen in and around the Grove camp. He walks in, short, mousy brown hair, very kind of baby faced. He's carrying a tray, and on the tray is an assortment of food and 5 large wooden goblets, presumably with something in it. And he kind of sheepishly walks into the tent. I was asked to bring these to you. He'll just kind of, not really looking at any of you, walk in and place it down the tray onto the table in front of you.
Thank you, child.
Yeah, no worries, my boy. What's your name?
My name's Kyla.
Oh, hello, Kyla. I'm Lexi. Welcome to our humble tent.
Yeah, cool. Right, yeah, go.
Wherever to. Do you want to join us?
No, thank you. No, I really see ya. Willow, with a passive perception as high as yours is, this
This feels like a personal attack.
well, you have a passive perception of passive insight, I should say, of 16.
I was about to say my passive perception.
Not your
Right.
perception, your insight, your passive insight. So used to saying passive perception, passive insight. Being as high as it is, this boy looks incredibly nervous. There are droplets of sweat on his brow. His hands are very shaky. He's shuffling on his feet. Doesn't look particularly happy to be where he is. What he's nervous about, you're not too sure. But he does place the tray down on the table in the tent and quickly hurry out.
Well, he was frightened of something.
What exactly did he leave on the? What was it? What's on the tray? Exactly.
Sure. So it's a wooden tray, and placed on it is just an arrangement of different foods. So there's a bowl of what looks like from where you're sat, like without having a close inspection of it, it looks like a bowl of porridge. And there's 5 bowls of porridge on there, a few fruits, and 5 kind of wooden tankards that presumably have some kind of drink in it.
Seeing as I'm like proficient with like a poisons kit, could I deduce maybe whether this would be poisoned? of some kind?
Roll a medicine check for me. The poisonous kit itself isn't going to be able to decide that for you. But a good enough medicine check would, if there is anything of that nature, might figure it out.
And if all
What
else
are you
fails,
looking
I am
at in particular, though? All of it? Or?
Well, yeah, just like all the drink. Like I just kind of like the idea basically being that Labor knows a bit about poison, so maybe look at it and go, that look, dodgy kind of.
Okay. Well, I mean, you rolled a 6, mate.
Yeah.
So, you have a good sniff of it and swill the liquid around it. The liquid looks it's purplish in hue. It looks like some kind of smoothie. And having a good sniff of it, it's got a very oaty or wheaty scent to it, with a mixture of different possible berries, most likely, seem to be mixed into it.
As that means everything seems fine to me.
Willow.
Mm.
As the boy leaves and you see Laborin walk over and kind of, from what you presume, kind of test it for any kind of poisoning. The room seems to darken to your perspective. Almost like a cloud of dark fog surrounds the room. It's almost like time starts to slow. And you just hear a voice. Death. Yes, death. We must have it. It makes us strong. Kind of shake your head for a moment, look around the rest of the room, and nobody else seems to be reacting to this.
Did anyone just hear that?
Yeah, what?
Mm,
The
Um,
voice?
The rooster?
No, not the rooster, but that is a very good rooster impression, I have to say. There were just
There's then
This
a
is-
moment
this-
where
Mm.
a ghostly apparition that only you see, Willow, appears in front of you of your sister. She walks towards the table and picks up one of the cups, brings it towards you and places it in your hands. Death, Willow. Kind of close your eyes and shake your head again, and she's gone, but you find the cup in your hand. For the rest of you, Willow has stood up and walked and taken the cup herself.
Really?
Willow, can you finish your training? Or
Um,
what are you talking about? Hear what? What?
Words?
there was a voice, and I don't know what's happening. I think there's potential I'm losing my mind. There's potential this is totally normal. And I'll just,
What is totally normal?
at this point, everything and nothing. I'm hearing things, and they're talking about death, but is that really that strange for me?
I mean, no, that seems
Not
pretty on
particularly.
brand.
It's not unfamiliar. It is still worrying.
well, you
can I,
do
like-
worship Merkel, don't you?
Yeah. Can I like sniff the cup to see if I can to see if I can figure out what's in it?
Is it Goodberry?
It doesn't.
Because you
smell
don't
of-
like Goodberry, do you?
Doesn't smell of anything to you.
Like,
Would
can look at
I
the cup and
could I
look at
check,
it?
kind of see like maybe what I know of Goodberry?
So having a look yourself, Baldwin. It's possible that it's got good berry in it. It definitely has a smell of some kind of fruit. Probably acidic, something like a berry or a mixture of berries. Almost like a summer berry kind of look and smell to it. Willow, you smell nothing.
I mean,
There might be Goodberry in there, so
Shimmer doesn't really understand why everyone's standing around sniffing and poking at the food, so she's just going to take a cup and have a sip.
Okay. You take the cup and have a sniff.
No, a sip.
Oh, a sip.
Yeah.
Cool. Yes.
Shimmer just joins in and sniffs the cup.
Sniffing. The taste is very pleasant. It's got it's kind of like a mixture of, it's almost like somebody's taken summer fruits and Weetabix, thrown it into a blender, and yeah, that's basically what it tastes like. The aftertaste though is very much that of bitter almonds. And as you take this sip, the initial taste is great, but after a moment, it starts to feel very uncomfortable. You take 32 points of poison damage, and you have disadvantage on ability checks for the next 8 hours.
Jesus.
Um,
Did do we see her react in any way?
Yes,
Like
the reaction
disgust,
is
throwing up?
so essentially you take the sip, and then a few moments later you kind of drop the cup and you kind of grasp at your stomach and lean over and start to retch, but nothing comes up. Shimmer is clearly in
Okay.
pain and uncomfortableness. Willow, you
Mug
Okay,
down,
slap
people,
the cup
mug
out of
down.
Willow's. I slapped the cup out of Willow's hand. Don't drink that.
You slap the cup out of Willow's hand, it falls to the floor, and Willow, you hear in your head, "No, death. We must have death."
I think I need to drink it.
No, slap out of it.
Is it like are they all separate cups, or is there like a pitcher as well that's like
No,
you
they're
know
all separate cups. So
Oh.
Shimmer's dropped hers, and yours is knocked on the floor. There's 3 stood on the table still.
Willow's gonna dive for the table and just like the fucking shots, just one
Boys,
after
stop her.
another, drink the rest of them,
You're drinking all of them.
all of them.
All
Can we
four.
stop her?
What's your
Do I have a
max
chance to
HP?
stop her?
No, don't.
You can try.
I'm gonna.
But we'll start
try
with the
and-
first one.
Why wouldn't you want to try? You're a paladin. You know it's poison.
Yes, no, you're not murdering yourself. Yeah, I would like to hold her back. I want to hold her out of arm's reach.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold her Willow over my head.
All right. You're picking her up.
This isn't fair. My strength doesn't allow for me to fight against this kind of nonsense.
One
Jesus.
1 second.
I might even peerless athlete this. Yeah, screw it. I'm doing it.
You're gonna
I have 1 channel divinity a day.
you're gonna-
You are not consuming 4 things of
Are we
poison
doing-
that do 5d10 damage or d12 damage or whatever it was.
Yeah, that would be insane.
You're not consuming 200 d10. No, not 200. I don't even know. 20 d10 damage.
Let's do this. Contested athletics.
Jeez.
This is not going to go well in any way, shape, or form.
We don't want you to die.
Like
My
you literally,
thing is-
you have to roll over a 4. And
And he gets an advantage, I think, on these checks, doesn't he?
Okay.
Yeah.
Fucking Jesus. Yeah. You are grappled significantly. Your feet don't touch the floor as Lexi picks you up with the pseudopod.
No,
You
no,
just find
no,
yourself
no,
kind
no.
of grasping for the cups, but they're just out of reach.
I'm like kicking my legs and like, no, you don't understand. The voices, they want it. They say they have to have it.
Why does it say you specifically? Why do you need to consume that much poison? That's
I don't know what to stop
No.
you from having to do it.
I'm just gonna quick eyes.
Even though,
down.
even though Shimmer's doubled up and on the floor on her hands and knees and clearly in some pain and retching, not that that matters to you, she's gonna kind of look up at Lexi and just kind of say, breathlessly, just trust her, just let her go, let her do it if that's what she needs to do. I trust you, Willow.
Can I be on the floor now, please? The sensible one trusts me. Can somebody, somebody who
Sensible?
has a magic thing with magic hands that can magically heal things?
Somebody
Oh,
touch
me.
me, I'm
Okay.
saying.
I'll, I'll turn around
I know that's
so my
so
back's facing the table
smart.
of poison. I'll put Willow down there, facing away from the table, and then I'll go over and would I be able to do my cost 5 lay on hands things to cure Shimmer? I can cure a condition.
Does it cure the poisoned condition?
That is the one thing it does.
There you go. Then absolutely it would remove that effect, yes.
While he's distracted,
Okay.
can I try and drink one of the drinks again?
Yep, just the one.
Yeah.
Okay, you grab the drink.
Yes.
You
Not
I'm going for
20
speed this
d10
time.
damage.
you drink
Not
it.
20 d10 damage.
The taste
Yeah.
the taste to you, Willow, is entirely flavorless. And you down the drink and you gain 31 points of health, and you had advantage on skill checks for the next 8 hours.
Oh,
Willow will just put the cup down on the table and turn around and just
just like,
say, Trust
Are you
me.
okay?
I do trust you.
So the Baron would like look up from. I would have said earlier, but we sort of moved on. He would have been like, at least trying to comfort Shimmer, while also being slightly annoyed that she snuck the drink while he was looking elsewhere. But anyway, he'd say, so has this got anything to do with the fact that you seem to reject the good berries and Shimmer's healing?
Yes.
Could you tell us what's going on, Willow, and stop the bullshit?
Oh damn!
Someone had to say it.
She'll kind of like mess with the cup on the table and just be like, I may not have been totally honest with you about what happened in Baldur's Gate.
Do you want to be honest with us now?
I don't really have a choice, but I don't know if it's going to be helpful or hurtful. Just don't hate me. When I had that big fight with the stupid ginger prick, and I said that Merkel came and helped and saved me and saved the day, essentially. The part I failed to mention was in order for him to do that, I died.
Oh.
And I am still dead, technically.
You don't smell dead.
Like a zombie? Like, what are you?
Like, just like undead. I'm me, but there's no heartbeat.
Is this, I know this seems a silly question, but is this permanent?
I don't know.
That must
But
have
I
been what my
think-
father smelled it earlier.
Yeah, but I think if somebody in this camp is going to be trying to kill everyone, having someone who isn't hurt by it might not be a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just
Maybe.
gonna sort of walk up next to Willow and put in 1 point of lay on hand, touch her, and put in 1 point of lay on hands because he's curious about something.
Look, you just want to hurt her.
Willow takes
No, I'm just curious. I could still help someone, still heal you.
Put 1 point of lay on hands on Willow, and as you do, and your divine energy of healing makes its way towards Willow, she recoils in pain and takes 1 point of damage.
The fuck?
Oh, sorry, I had to make sure.
Oh yes, because everybody goes around lying about being undead.
I've never heard of this phenomena before. I apologize profusely. My ability to assist you in combat is now significantly lessened.
Willow's just gonna
I'm gonna
get
have to
the
stop
next
carrying
cup
poison.
and take a drink from the next cup,
Understandable.
put it back on the table.
I must have retribution, and I'll reach for a cup.
I mean, it's a pointless roll,
No.
but that is an additional 23 points of healing, and unfortunately the effect doesn't stack, but...
Well, no, that's fine.
Next 8 hours.
Wait, that
Pocket
means my
that
poison
final cup.
kit's essentially now a healing potion kit for Willow.
I'm just going to
Can I
inflict
just mention
wounds
I have-
myself. Is what it does.
I have literally 15 HP left over here.
I thought
I thought you
Lexi
got
laid on
healed by
handed.
I
Yeah, to
healed
cure her from the
I
poison.
healed the poison.
You cured
held
the
the poison.
poison.
Speaking of
you didn't
which,
actually
I'm
kill
poisoned
me.
still.
I'll
I
give you.
could use some of that.
You're diseased,
I'll
motherfucker.
give Shimmer my potion of greater
I'm diseased
healing.
and poisoned.
Just diseased.
No, just disease. I'll give you my
Oh,
potion of greater
I
healing.
have both
Shimmer.
conditions.
Are
on
you
my
sure,
thing.
Lexi?
Yeah, you've got.
I mean, you did
Wait,
take like
wait.
how much points? I mean, we could just immediately short rest.
I have 2 potions
Like
of
in-
normal healing.
I've got
Oh,
potions
alright.
as well.
You know,
Have
that are
a
now
potion of healing, which I'll take.
completely useless for me.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah, they are a bit useless for Willow at this point, so you may as well just take
Ouch.
them off as you know. But yeah,
While this is happening, maybe we can. Do we hear any commotion or someone kind of listening in from outside the tent, like while we're maybe waiting for us to drink our drinks to see
Make a perception
if
check.
we perish?
I'm just going to say it. That kid 100% knew what was going on.
Yeah, that's probably why he didn't want to
Yeah.
stay and drink with us. The
Yeah.
other.
Terrified of being in
I-
this tent.
maybe he was just being a bit rude.
24, Baldwin.
Yeah.
Good. Actually, you do see that through as this kind of commotion starts to wane, you do spot that one side of the tent at the very bottom is slightly lifted up, and there are a pair of eyes underneath it that, as soon as you clock them, that disappear, and you hear a scurrying off.
Is there any way like I could catch up, like kind of see like
Junior, fetch.
fast enough?
Yeah, you can absolutely try that. Yep. So you dash out the tent,
And try to see who it was, or
make your way round to where the tent had been lifted, where somebody appeared to be looking in, and you kind of, as you do bump into a couple of people because it's getting busy out here now, with people kind of scurrying back and forth, and you look down between the row of tents that set back further into the valley there, and there is just a mass of people, children, adults, wild shaped individuals, all sorts.
okay. So I didn't see anything but their eyes. Like there, no other like distinguishing things. Adult, like were they tall?
Not that you could tell
Anything like
from just seeing what you saw and that was peeking under the tent. No, could have been adult, could have been a child, could have been a creature. I'm not sure.
Well,
Okay, well, I just come back inside.
no bite.
Somebody was peeking through the tent,
Yes.
while waiting for us to perish, to see if we perish. But luckily we didn't.
And you were unable to catch up. Do you know what they look like?
No, it got pretty busy out there. They were out of sight pretty quickly. Fast on their feet, it seems.
Oh. We
We need to
should
find
leave
out
him.
who it was.
We need to find that kid. He's got to
Maybe-
know. Willow did clock him as being pretty nervous and sweating and stuff. So
Yes, and
Maybe
if
we
he
could
is innocent.
maybe we could make them think that we did drink it. I mean, it has no effect on Willow. I mean, she doesn't even have to drink it. We could just dump it out, and I'll just lie there.
I
Wait for
mean,
them to
the-
come in, reveal themselves, see
the
who's.
people-
it just
supposed to get them.
depends how much he saw before I spotted him. So like around when did I see him or like her, whoever was watching us before
we
drank?
Around when you made the check, really. So it would have been after Willow had chugged 2 of them, one had fallen on the floor, Shimmer had drank one and kind of vomited everywhere, and then took some healing.
Mm.
There was one left, and you guys all seemed fine. So it was after all of that.
Okay, yeah, so he knows that. Willow's just like sip on it like it's champagne and like relaxing.
Delightful.
So,
Okay.
Willow, how do you feel about your new condition?
I'm still figuring out what it means, but I mean, I wouldn't say I've slept particularly well at any point in the last like 12 years of my life, but
Now you don't sleep
I
at
don't
all.
sleep. I don't sleep. I don't really need to eat, but I mean, I don't. Beyond that, I'm still me.
Laboran
still-
had sort of Oh, sorry, go on.
Well, fine.
I was going to say he'd sort of put a tentative hand out, like feel her like cheek or forehead with the back of his hand. Is she cold or warm?
It
She's
do be chilly.
she's cold to the touch.
Okay, he'd sort of like draw back at that.
Shimmer will
Um,
go up. She won't offer to hug Willow because Willow doesn't like that. But she would kind of, I guess, put an arm on her shoulder, a hand on her shoulder or something, and say, "It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you are. You're still my sister, and whatever this means, I'll stand by you for as long as you want me here."
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we could never hate you for that. Like, if anything, I'm more worried to see if maybe we can reverse this.
Let's see how much it helps in this situation first. I might finally be less of a hindrance.
You've never been a hindrance.
You've never been ignorance.
Are you are you immortal now?
It's like, so yeah, I was
What?
thinking, do you age?
What happens if if I were to? I mean, I'm not gonna try it. But what would happen if I were to stab you? Would you feel the pain? Would you live?
I don't know. I feel
Let's
like it would
say-
probably still hurt. So please don't.
Well, did you take any damage fighting the orcs? Did you feel it then?
Yeah, I still get injured. I still get hurt.
Oh, but do you feel it? I guess I don't know what's Laborn's question. Like whether or not it hurts.
The pain
No,
is
it's more
duller
just-
than it
He
would
wants to know
normally have
why.
been than the damage you've taken in the past and the fights that you've had, Willow. The pain that you've felt since this happened hasn't been much duller.
Mhm.
Like I've been punched instead of stabbed.
But it does still hurt. And you definitely
Yeah,
can
it's
get
okay.
injured.
I mean, then that stands to reason that you could still die. So you're not out the woods.
The key is we just try harder not to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you don't mind answering. How did you? You said you died in what manner? What was your method of death before undeath? Step 1.
Method.
What I just want to have a clear picture of the situation. You said you
can't-
died. Were you
Yeah.
stabbed? Or you just did necrotic energy from whatever the hell Merkel, exists?
I'm trying to remember. Hang on.
I know.
Don't-
I can't remember if he stabbed me or if it was a.
I'm filling the silence.
He doesn't want dead air.
I just want to know how you did it.
Lexi's just
Yeah, no, like,
describing
what was your
lots of different
method of,
methods of
like-
death.
Sounds like you
Yeah.
like killed yourself.
Like,
Stab.
I want to
stab
provide the acceptable level of comfort.
for them.
for
I
the
mean,
method of death.
Specifically, I can't remember whether he stabbed me or hit me with a spell.
Who's this? The ginger
I'm not
prick?
gonna lie.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say hit me with a spoon.
Yes, he hit me
That
with a
was like-
spoon.
I do
That
think
is
the
the
killing
first
blow
thing
was a
that came to my brain.
blade attack.
Was it? I was stabbed to be deaded,
Stabbed.
And it hurted a lot.
You still have
and it
the-
hurted a lot.
You still have the wound. Did it heal?
It healed.
Does it look like a badass scar now?
Can we maybe stop poking Willow and let her be?
Poking and prodding.
And maybe figure what
we-
we're going to do now.
We need to go
Sorry.
find that
Yeah.
kid.
Yes. Let's find the person. Let's find our preschool assassin.
Well, I'm just glad you're okay. I'm sure everyone
Yeah.
feels the same.
I will be
But,
when we
yeah.
figure out what the fuck is going on here, because Baldwin, I'm really sorry, but your grove is fucking insane.
Yes. I know it. To me, it's normal. So, yeah.
Really?
But I can kind of see it now, hanging out with you guys.
Well,
Just
you get
happens on the
poisoned
regular?
every morning. Yeah.
Every
Well, yeah, I mean, this is my normal, so
casual assassination.
Mhm.
Attempted
I don't
poisonings
know.
are normal here. Okay.
I have no idea what this is about, but yeah. But yeah, we definitely should get to the bottom of it.
Just
I'm
it's annoying
gonna try
that
to.
it was there because I feel like we could try and make whoever did it. They would have saw Willow drink it, wouldn't they?
We don't know how long they were
Mm.
watching.
Because maybe you're cold to the touch, so maybe you could just sort of pretend to be dead. Shouldn't be that hard. And then we say, "Oh, who the fuck killed Willow?" And then
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe someone reveals themselves. I don't.
Well, we know that the individual saw her chug 2 of them and was like probably feeling refreshed, not really like hurt at all. As opposed to Shimmer when she drank it, she was like sick to her stomach. So
Yeah, thanks for rushing over to pick me up off the floor, guys. That was really nice of you.
that was the next thing I was gonna say. But we were waiting for Willow to finish
Oh,
like
20 minutes
chugging
ago.
hers.
20 minutes ago, yeah, great.
We have to take things one at a time, otherwise we're gonna be overlapping.
Lexi,
But-
can you get your big ass horse out the way so we can leave?
All right, Junior, reverse.
I wonder why she went to
Repeat.
something that can sniff, because I want to sniff out the
Yes,
kid.
Junior beats. He makes horse noises. He does speak my languages.
Yeah, so wolves are pretty common around here. People well shaped as wolves. Or dogs, or anything of that nature.
Yeah, I'll go old school, classic, tiny wolf, regular wolf, not dire.
Damn, bringing back the old favourites.
Yeah, what are you smelling for?
Yeah.
Were we told we can't leave the tent, or we just can't leave the
We can't leave the camp.
Right, okay.
Yeah, kind of the camp, the cave.
If we weren't allowed to leave the tent.
Well, I thought maybe do we have to sneak around, but if we can leave, then
I kind of want to smell like if the tray. I'm assuming maybe won't have much of a scent left on it. If not, then I'll smell like the fabric of the tent where the person was spying through to see if maybe the smells are similar. Are they 2 different people? Things like that.
Yeah, so the smell. Okay. Well, what are you going for? There's not much. Of
Can
a
I do
scent.
both? Like,
Yeah, there's not much of a scent on the tray, but the area around where this individual was presumably crouched to peek under the tent, the smell that you recognize is that of a rabbit.
a rabbit. Okay. So okay, it's very distinctive then. So is there? I'm assuming I don't know there's other rabbits hopping around, but can I follow that scent?
Yeah, make a perception check with advantage.
Okay, guys, I think I caught a whiff of a rabbit over here, where I saw the eyes earlier.
13. Cool. So just to be clear, you're all leaving the tent and following Baldwin out into the kind of the mass of people that are busying around the camp. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You're not going to lay Willow over the back of Lexi Junior. Limp.
Or are we pretending I'm actually dead?
Are we going to be pretending you're
Well,
dead?
aren't you actually?
I mean, are we going to be
we
pretending
could
you're
do, but I
not
feel like
dead?
it was seen, so I don't know if it's as good. Like it would have been a good idea if it wasn't seen.
I actually have a
Maybe-
spell,
maybe-
feign death or feign dead, something like that.
Please don't, because I actually become incapacitated with that spell and can't do anything.
Oh yeah.
Let's just
Yeah, it's
go
true.
on the assumption that they know it didn't work.
I mean, to be fair, Willow can just pretend because her heart doesn't beat, her skin's cold, so like she can just kind of lay there, and she's literally dead. So
How
You know,
about we work on the assumption that they saw me not die, and we just go?
Yeah, I think yeah, I think
Before we lose them.
Shall we bottle that final potion, that final thing, and give it to?
Yeah, go for it.
Do
Be
you
a
have
healing
an
potion
empty
for women.
flask?
I've drunk healing
I have
potions
2
before.
now because I just took 2 healing potions.
There you go.
There you go.
There you
fill
go.
into one of those. Yep. Easily.
And I'll take a ladle porridge, and then leave.
A ladle
Oh,
of porridge.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'll feed them to. No. Oh god, that's
No,
poison.
don't
Well,
feed
that's-
your horse.
Hey.
I'm not
Lexi,
feeding
you fucking idiot.
Lovely.
25
I resist
points.
this. Don't worry.
25 points poison damage. You can't be poisoned, can you? Or can you?
No.
No, he can.
I can't. I
Nothing-
can't. I'm immune to disease. I resist poison damage, though.
Okay, so that's just 12 points poison damage then. And you have disadvantage on ability checks for the next 8 hours.
Neat.
Why did you fucking eat the porridge?
You are an idiot.
Who poisons porridge?
You just
The same person.
What manner of creature poisons porridge?
We are trying to find out.
you watch as
Do you even know what porridge is?
Lexi
This
takes
is
a
too
ladle.
far.
Lexi takes a ladle of porridge and just inserts it into himself and then pulls it out and then goes, "Ah, fuck," and then kind of doubles
Starts to kind of like. grrr.
doubles over like, and then just you can see the porridge inside of him just kind of get ejected immediately out from one side, but the effects are the same.
Lexi,
I'm just
what's
gonna-
wrong with you?
Like rummage in my bag and pull out 2 potions of healing, rip the stoppers out of the bottle and just kind of jam the bottles into him.
I don't require 2. I don't think.
Like syringes, just.
Yeah.
All right. Are we done fucking about so we can go?
What's that? 2d4
Yeah,
plus
this is
4?
personal. This is personal now.
Yeah.
I'm going to find this.
Yeah.
girl.
He had to feel the pain in order to
Yeah.
to seek retribution.
I'm so confused.
Porridge, the most holiest of meals, has been sullied by this horrible poison.
Why don't you fill the empty healing potion bottle with porridge?
Yes, and I will throw it at them. Yeah, I'll take a vial of death porridge, please.
I will.
Vial of death porridge it is.
Can I have that as an item? Vial of death porridge.
What? Yep, absolutely fine.
Great. So now we have a vial of
Yeah, but no
porridge
one's
and
done
a
that.
vial of.
A vial of death
Drink.
porridge and a vial of death smoothie.
You
Yeah.
better hope they
Nice.
don't- that porridge doesn't leak into you.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure. I'm not. First of all, I need a bag. I just realised.
Yeah, you
How
haven't
do I
had a bag
can I
since
buy a
way
bag?
back
I haven't had a
cave.
bag since Wave Cave.
Do you have any like leather pockets like on that armor of yours?
No.
Anything he's
I've just been-
carrying is just inside him.
Yeah, and I feel like when carrying poisons and explosives, I should probably have a bag.
Willow will just hold her hand out and just be like, "Give me the vials."
Why didn't you buy a bag in Baldur's Gate?
I wasn't thinking about things then.
He wasn't carrying vials of poisoned
Well,
porridge.
In general, Lexi, evidently. Right, let's go track down this fucking rabbit.
To be fair, it's pretty smart that Willow does keep them because that's just healing potions for her that are actually pretty strong, pretty potent, like healing potions for her. So
Oh, it's cool.
anyway. Mhm.
Okay, so with a 13, so just to describe this scene for you, so the in between the tents, the tracks are very muddy. The tents are very close together. And, there's 5 feet between them, and they are kind of run in rows on either side of these vast cliff faces, and head towards a kind of a dagger's tip point where the 2 cliff sides meet further into the back of the encampment. The mud is kind of like splattered up the side of these white tents. There's been a lot of foot traffic over here for as long as people have been here, and there are people scurrying around, some carrying buckets of water and kind of like carts of food and that kind of stuff. People just move around. Kids are running around, playing in the mud and things like that. With a 13, you follow the scent of the rabbit for like the distance of like 4 or 5 tents, and then the kind of trail just goes immediately cold.
Just right then and there.
Yep.
At a specific tent.
Well, yeah. There is you are stood next to between 2 tents.
Between 2 tents.
But there are further rows of tents, but the trail just goes cold. It's not like the trail leads into either of them. It just stops in the middle of this pathway.
Any footprints? Any, like, maybe he, turned humanoid at that point?
Make an investigation check for me. I mean, the foot traffic here is very high. There are people moving around you as you're here.
Okay. Can I ask someone to give me a hand? Like, here, look,
yeah,
I might see a set here. The stops here, but I think I see a set of footprints that might be his. Maybe wild-shaped.
Yeah, I'll
So either
I've got a plus
individually or with
7.
advantage.
I have a +3, but I don't know what Laborn has.
I've got a +7.
Yeah, you go for it.
Do you want me to do it with advantage here?
Yeah.
It's really hard to tell. There is distinctly some rabbit tracks from your tent up to this point, and then there is just a lot of other foot traffic from that point forward. It's possible that you conclude that it's possible this person wild-shaped out of a rabbit into a different form, but you can't
Different
tell.
form.
You can't tell which.
Lexi, maybe you want to pseudopod into some tents.
Oh, that feels minorly perverted, but if you want, if necessary.
Just to remind you, there are a lot of people around at the moment.
Can you try to huddle around him, like
Nothing to see here.
I feel
Like
Lexi's
holding up a
all
towel at a
of
beach.
all of us. Like,
I bust out the pan flute.
So you go to draw and
Shimmer. Shimmer, let's play a song.
Either be as terrible or as amazing as you can.
Yeah, it can be like, oh, that's terrible, but other way to distract it. So let's see.
That I can try.
Is that the
I can try to do some
trusty?
subtle peepage.
Subtle peepage. Okay. So
It's my name of my new band.
regardless of whatever your performance check is there, as people walk past you as you're playing your pan flute, people are just kind of like giving you a weird eye. You are a group of individuals that absolutely don't fit in here. You're not adorned with the same kind of garb that they are, and people have been whispering and talking about your presence and arrival since the day before. So you definitely get odd looks regardless. So Lexi, what are you doing? Are you sticking a pseudopod under one of these tents?
I mean, it's...
you don't have to.
Yes.
Just if you think it's a shit idea, you don't have to do what I say.
I mean, it does seem a bit creepy. I mean, what am I looking for anyway? He
I just thought
says
maybe
whispering.
Suspicious person.
Yeah, the person that was a rabbit might have went into one of these tents.
But
You might
how
not
would we
have.
know if we don't know who they are? If they're not a
Yes.
rabbit anymore,
Yeah.
they could be anyone. We're in a camp full to the brim with druids.
I mean,
I was just thinking it could be that boy.
Have we considered terrifying the life out of a 12-year-old boy?
Well, we can find him. I'm all for that.
So if we find him and we tell him that what he delivered did in fact kill me, and we scare him into telling us who did it, because he was fucking terrified walking into that tent to start with. If he
Yes.
thinks he's being haunted,
he will rue the day he saw
So
it.
you're going to be a ghost
No, I'm going to be a very physically intimidating spectre that's probably about the same height as a 12-year-old boy.
He was also halfling.
Exactly.
Short,
Oh,
wouldn't
a
he?
12-year-old.
Oh,
Not by much.
So wait, he's like shin height on Lexi.
Halflings are pretty much fully grown by the time they're like 20.
Right.
I mean, if he was like really nervous and scared, is there smell his fear? Isn't that what predators do? I am a wolf.
Oh, good. Now we're hunting the child.
What does fear?
Yeah, that's what we've been doing.
Sweat.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's sweat. Sweat smells.
Don't talk.
by all means, give it a whirl.
Being recorded.
Perception check with advantage.
Being recorded.
I guess I double back real quick, see if maybe I can pick it up a trail over there. $19.
19. Fear does not give off a distinct smell. There is definitely an animalistic nature that enables creatures to sense fear through smell. You are not tuned in a wild shape form to that natural instinct. However, there is a lot of fear here anyway. People are scared. Fact. The idea that you would be able to pick up distinctly on one particular individual person's fear is nigh on impossible.
There. What about very quickly, maybe 10 by 10, just very quickly kind of like see if I can smell something familiar. Maybe like the kid, maybe the person. Well, that way the pseudopod, I feel like it's more obvious. I feel like if I just do a kind of like quick sniffs to see if I catch anything, and then maybe we can do the pseudopod.
Okay, you didn't get a good sniff of the kid, so you don't have a scent reference for him.
Or I guess the rabbit. Or
Sure. Yeah, how long do you want to spend doing this?
not too long, just kind of quick, like or maybe just around the vicinity of where the rabbit wild shaped,
Yeah.
or like the throw in cold.
Yeah, I mean, make another perception check at advantage for me. Dirty 20. You don't have a reference for the child. You do pick up the scent of the rabbit again, but it's the same scent that you picked up before. And it's very localized. It's not like you get the sense that this scent has traveled around the camp in any way. It was there and then it moved and then it disappeared. You don't pick up that scent in any of the other tents or anything like that. Fortunately, it seems to have appeared, moved, and then disappeared. Almost like somebody wild-shaped out of the rabbit moved and then unwild-shaped out of the rabbit.
Is there anyone in the vicinity who's dressed similarly to the boy? Because you obviously said that he was wearing like quite poor-looking clothes compared to most other people.
So the garb that these druids adorn is all very similar. It has a green, it's a leather and green tinge to it. The kind of ornate nature and intricacies of the clothing that you've seen Fenrir and Baldwin's father wear is clearly of individuals that have some degree of authority, whereas a lot of the other people are wearing less intricate, less embroidered clothing. The young boy was wearing nothing that kind of indicated any kind of hierarchy, if you like, in the Grove status. Yeah.
Did he have a name?
There are a lot of people like that, though. So it's hard to tell. You spot a lot of people that are similar.
Is the Grove just a complete mix of races? I was under the impression it'd be like all elves.
There's a lot of
but-
elves, humans, dwarves, halflings. There are even a few gnomes knocking around, but yeah, they're all humanoid.
And
we can't
animals.
just go, where's that little half one boy?
Shimmer,
Oh,
would you consider asking any of the people wandering around if they know who Kyla is, and just say that we wanted to thank him for bringing breakfast or something? They might be able to point us in a direction that isn't just standing outside two random tents looking a little bit creepy. And you feel
Well,
like
I
the
had
best
thought
person to
this-
ask.
I thought about barreling into one of the tents and excusing myself if I didn't come across him. So sure, I can try. I
Dennis
don't know if anyone will talk to me. I stick out like a sore thumb, but
So
No, we met plenty of Satyrs. Very welcome here, actually.
And you're probably the most likely to get an answer out of everyone. I mean, Baldwin doesn't exactly seem like Mr. Popular in his own. Lexi's fucking weird looking. And
I'm actually
Laborin,
very popular.
Laborin looks like he'd stab you before you said hello.
Yeah, no argument.
yeah, sure, I can ask around. Might be best if I go by myself though. So
That's fine.
it's
We'll
less
hover.
intimidating crowd.
We,
I mean, do you
we'll
wanna
hover
come,
back
Willow?
by like
Like-
20 feet awkwardly.
Well,
I'll
you
just
can
kick a
come if
can
you
around.
want, Willow. You're a halfling. They might smile upon that. Two small women. What harm could we do?
I mean, we can try.
Only they know.
You shut
Yeah.
up.
Beg your pardon, Laborin?
Well, I meant that in like a way that you can do harm. Like,
Us do
Yeah,
harm?
Don't say
Never.
that too loud.
We are only here to heal.
yeah. Wounds.
Now, you three go
I'm going to take my
Do
big
something-
ass
Go back,
horse
maybe
and go mingle with
Go
the
back to the
locals.
tent or something.
Yeah, don't eat any of the death porridge.
You took. I don't have a bag. You took away my death porridge. Actually, no wait.
Okay,
There is
I've
some
got-
still there.
I've got a dice set. We could just play that while we wait. Play with
What
That
is
sounds
that?
safer.
Loser has to have a mouthful of the death porridge. Let's go.
Yeah, let's play pig.
Are we sure it's safe to leave them unsupervised?
I resist poison and I can kill myself. Well, Laborin's the one in trouble.
I've got healing potions.
I can't wait for us to return to the tent and our entire stock of healing potions has been used up because you three kept eating the death porridge.
You're going then?
Yeah, we're off to the presumably Baldwin's coming. He didn't say anything, but yeah, we're off to the tent while you do speak to whoever you're speaking to.
Yeah, we can do that.
Right, Shimmer, what are you planning? Where are you going to go?
Well, I mean, we should probably start in this area if this is where Baldwin says he was last. So I guess we'll just kind of try and look as casual as possible and you know, go up to the nearest person that doesn't look like they're going to wild shape into a bear and disembowel me. Give them my sweetest smile with my teeth probably still glowing with poison oats, and just say, "Oh, I'm sorry to bother you. We're looking for a small boy, Kyla. He brought us some breakfast this morning, and we just wanted to catch up and say thank you to him because he rushed off before we could really say anything."
So the person that you address is a half elvish woman. She's her dress is very much kind of sitting in the middle status. of the people that you've seen. Although you do start to get the sense that at this point, regardless of status, people seem to be chipping in to help kind of keep things running. She's carrying a basket of what appear to be freshly washed clothing. You stop her in between a few of the tents, and she kind of, sorry, Kyla. Name rings a bell. I'm not too sure. Sorry. Children normally play up the other end of the camp, so I mean, maybe he's up that way. Sorry, I don't know. She just kind of says that and then hurries off again.
All right, Willow, should we take a look?
We might as well. Well,
Yeah,
what
we'll just
what danger can the boys get into while we're gone?
so I guess we'll just kind of make our way up wherever she pointed, as you know, without drawing any attention to ourselves, if we can help it.
Sure. So the direction she's given you is kind of where the two cliff faces then in a kind of almost a triangular fashion come to meet. Where they do meet, there is kind of like a 10-foot wide crevasse, I guess is probably the best way to explain it, that kind of leads in through between these two mountainsides. Between that and the nearest tent is like probably a good 100 feet of 100 by 100 by 100 feet of space, where it appears it's kind of been set up to be a more of a recreational space for children to play ball and run around and that kind of thing. And as you're kind of like enter into this clearing, you do see pockets of children that appear to be playing around. There's a few adults that seem to be stood around watching and chatting. And there's a few people that are kind of wild-shaped and still kind of wandering around doing, you know, the kind of tasks to try and keep the camp in order.
Any sign of Kayla specifically? I mean, I assume he's quite a lot shorter than the others.
Make a perception check for me.
I don't perceive well. Would you like to assist me in perceiving, Willow?
I will assist. We will both look. Do you want to? Well, wait. My advantage is on ability checks, isn't it?
You have advantage on ability checks.
Because Shimmer currently has disadvantage on ability checks.
Correct.
Do I still? I'm not poisoned.
Oh, wait, yeah.
No, she doesn't. No,
She doesn't. Oh.
So rolling
Do you want me-
individually on this would mean that you get advantage, Pip, and yours is a flat roll, Shimmer. Shimmer.
All right, might as well.
Yeah.
Read that once.
Shut your face. Is that perception? That's not perception. That's performance.
my
I don't
Oh,
want
I see everybody.
I mean, yeah.
You
Who needs my advantage?
We
Well,
both
it's
see
visible.
everybody.
Wow. So stood kind of at the edge of where the tents end, and kind of spending a moment to scan the area. Almost at the same time, you kind of both point in a direction as you see a group of children, a mixture of elves, humans, dwarves, and halflings that appear to be kind of they're playing stuck in the mud. Essentially, it's a very muddy area, and that's the game that they're playing. But stood around them are kind of near to them, but not in close proximity. Appear to be 3 or 4 adults, not wild shaped. 3 of which are female, and 1 of which is a male individual. The male individual, the clothing he's wearing is of very similar to that of Bartholomew's, Baldwin's father. Although the leather is much darker, as is the green that is kind of embroidered into it, and the other elements of green. And he's got a bit of a frown on his face, and he stood very cross-armed, just surveying the area. As the women that are there just chatter amongst themselves. He stood maybe 5-6 feet to the side of them. But you do see amongst the children Kyla running around.
How do you want to play this, Willow?
I'm not sure it'll go down well if we just barge over. I think maybe we need to follow him.
Yeah, I was going to
See
say,
if
do you
he
want to
goes
just kind of
anywhere.
watch a while and see, where he goes or who he knows?
Yeah. That's probably the best option, but then we probably need the others to come back and help with whatever plan we end up thinking of while we're watching this child in a totally not creepy way.
I mean, it might
You
be
what?
creepier if the others just rock up as well and then start also watching this child.
What are we staring, child?
Got to end up one of them nonsense videos.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
All right.
mean-
I've got an idea. It might be shit. So please tell me if it's shit.
Go for it.
What if we get Laborin out here? If I try to strike up a tune, make out like I'm trying to entertain the kids, that boy's going to see me. He's going to know, and then he might run off wherever it is he's going to go, and we can get Laborin to tail him.
That is a good shout. That is actually a very good idea.
Don't sound so surprised.
And yeah, Laborin's the better option, I think. At this point, most
Yeah.
people are going to have heard that Baldwin's back and he might be quite surreptitious in his appearance.
Well, I mean, if Laborin tries to tail the boy, if we really need a backup, then Baldwin can always tail Laborin, with his wolf scent nose thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like if we need the boy to move, we need him to go wherever it is he goes. And if he sees me, he'll know and do a runner.
And I can try my very best with my little legs to keep up with Laborin and just stay out of the way and then scare the little shit half to death.
Yeah, well, if Laborin tails him, he's got the best chance of doing it without being seen, and then Baldwin can lead the rest of us wherever it is that Laborin ends up.
Yeah, that's a good idea. How are we going to get Laborin here, though?
I mean, I know it sucks, but could you send a message?
Oh shit!
know
Yeah,
it
that's
costs
a
you
that's a
$12.
spell I absolutely know and forgot that I knew.
I know it costs you, but perhaps it's the quickest way, because if we linger too long, we risk him running off before we're ready.
Now I have the question of, do I still have it prepared? Did I unprepare it? Did I re-prepare it?
Can't you ritual cast it?
Not sending.
Okay, I thought you could. So I was thinking, we never got anything like a sending stone or anything, did we, in this campaign?
I don't have it prepared, but I have long rested. So
Yeah, you
I'm
can
just
prepare.
going to switch 2 of my spell.
Mhm.
And then I will cast sending.
Okay.
Before I cast it, I'm just going to look at Shira and just be like, I have 21 words. How the fuck do I describe how we got here? Alert, I am not.
Well, we would know roughly whether we were. Well, we know we're at the. Tell him we're at the crevice, the mountain crevice.
Crevice.
One could always find the crevice.
Yeah.
Isn't it crevasse?
Well, I
Warren is very good at finding a crevasse.
He's not.
It's a
He's not.
crevasse. Fire that
I will-
missile, guys.
I'm sure you can
Crevice.
describe to him where the 2 mountains meet.
Yeah.
On whatever side of the village we're on, north, south, whatever.
Easy enough. Easy enough with those.
Yeah.
The amount of
Yeah,
words
I'll send him a very quick 25-word message that says, meet us at the crevasse, where the 2 mountains meet at the top of the camp so the children can play.
You can easily describe where you are.
Come
how
and
to get to
stalk the
in that.
child.
Wouldn't overthink it.
Come stalk a child with us.
So Laborian,
Yeah.
you get this message. So what do you want to do? You're with Baldwin and Lexi as you get
Yeah.
this. So you can obviously respond to Willow.
Like about halfway through arguing about Lexi about whether or not he should eat more porridge, and then just stop as I hear the message come through, and then say, "We'll be right there." Like back
No,
to
we don't want
the-
all of you. We don't
Oh, I
want all
thought
of you.
you-
We only
I
want
thought you
you.
said-
The word
Hey,
"come
okay.
alone" floating at the end of the message.
I'm sorry, I misheard that bit. So all right, I'll be there now, and then and then it's just like, right, Lexi and Baldwin, they apparently need me, so just stay here and don't eat porridge, and then I'll
You can't
go
tell
to
me
where
what
they
to do.
All right.
Adios.
Doesn't take long. This camp's not very big. 5 minutes later, Laborian turns up with you and with Willow and Pimmer. Willow and Pimmer. Willow and
Yeah,
Shimmer.
that-
Oh my God.
Wow.
Pepper.
Every time.
Where did you get the pea from? Oh.
And Shimmer.
Him now.
It sounds like you're naming reindeer. Timber and Shimmer and Dinner and on Shimmer, on Pipper, on Willow, on Shimmer, on Dasher, and Rudolph.
Oh, that was amazing!
Willow and Shimmer.
So LeBron will rock up and say, "Hello, Pimmer."
Timber and Shimmer and Dinner and
He would use it
I'm on
running,
some
'cause
kind of
he-
list for that.
No, he'd have no reason to say that, so he'd actually just say Shimmer and Willow.
Okay, so Willow, do you want to go? Do you want to go back to the tent and let Baldwin and Lexi know the plan?
Yes, I will do that.
Why do you need to go to a shop?
And then I'll explain to Laborin. I'm gonna make a scene, and I'm hoping that this I'll point, like, kind of nod subtly in the direction of Kayla and say that he's here. I'm gonna make a scene, and I'm gonna hope that, having seen me, he's gonna make a bolt for it, and we need you to tail him so that we can find out where he ends up.
Okay, I'm doing this
Because I'm thinking that if he's gonna go back to whoever.
Okay, am I doing this the traditional way or the invisible way? That's fine with me.
Well, I mean, it's your choice. I'd rather not have to spend the spell slot, but if you want to be super safe, I can give you that.
Up to you. I'll go without the invis. Just thought that might be the new plan.
I mean, it's broad daylight. If you want the invis, I'll do it, but we've got to be subtle about it.
Jack, looking around, is it feasible for me to do that without getting seen? Obviously, depending on how good or bad I roll.
Did what? Sneak around in the daytime?
Yeah. Is it too open? Like, am I just obviously going to be seen walking behind this kid, or like?
You've got the advantage that it's quite busy, so you can kind of blend into the crowd. It's probably, I mean, you won't have any element of darkness to cover your step, but you can move between tents and between carts and between people, so it's not what you're used to, but it's doable.
Okay, yeah, I'll give it a go.
You definitely wouldn't be rolling at disadvantage or anything like that, but I would be asking you, how are you trying to cover your tailing, essentially?
I mean, it'd be how you just described it, really, trying to, like, Assassin's Creed through the crowd and, like,
I was thinking the same thing.
And, like, tents
Do
and
you
stuff
want?
like that.
I can give you Veil of Dusk if you want.
Yeah, I'll have that. Whatever.
That's
that
only a
does.
level 1 spell
It
slot,
better
so
be-
it's not that costly.
There better be like a jumping into a pile of hay scene at
Mhm.
some point in this.
Find a pile of hay.
I need
There you go.
the boring to be walking really slowly in this crowd, the way that you used to have
Yeah.
in like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Where you could have kind
Yeah,
of
with his head
And
down.
for some reason, none of the crowd seem bothered that this man's just pushing past them all.
Yeah, just
So
just shouldering everybody.
Yeah.
again, just want to make you aware. You're in broad daylight. There's a lot of people around. You haven't seen anybody else casting any spells
Yeah, fair.
other than the odd cantrip,
All right.
like
Well,
prestidigitation or
Yeah.
something like that.
you'll have to do it the traditional way then, I think.
Okay.
Not saying you can't. I'm just
I'm fine
saying,
to do.
No, you're right. You're right. Could I though be very cheeky and when I start this performance of mine, use it to give Laborin a bardic inspiration to kind of guard against shit rolls?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'll give you a bardic, and then if you roll shit, then at least you've got some cover.
So the where you're currently stood, guys, and where these kids are playing is about 50 to 80 feet away at the moment, across an open bit of
Yeah.
area.
Okay. Well, I'll whip out my drum and just kind of I'll start playing it and singing and kind of walk into the middle of the play area, just trying to get their attention. And I mean, Shimmer's used to performing for kids and stuff, so she would just sing a very merry tune and try to get everyone's attention, try to make sure that Kayla lays eyes on her.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so you do that, you start kind of beating your drum and singing a tune as you start closing the distance between where you were stood and where the kids are currently playing. The sound does start to draw attention as you're looking around. The kids that are playing, some of them kind of turn and then they start clapping along as you draw closer. As you get to within about 20, 25 feet, the two things happen. One, the Kyler does turn and you see that he immediately recognizes your approach. And the adults that have kind of been stood about 20 feet away to kind of your left side of where they've been playing kind of turn to look at you as well. And a few of the women kind of like smile and think that it's fun, but the male that is stood there, kind of his frown deepens. Yeah, you continuing to close the distance as you're doing this.
Yeah, but I'm gonna make sure I don't make eye contact with Kayla.
Okay. So you do that, you keep closing distance, you're not making eye contact with him, but you do see that he immediately stops what he's doing and makes a dash towards the male individual. And he kind of runs and hides behind his legs.
Okay. Well, I'm not trying to make it look like I'm bearing down on him, so I'll just kind of stop and try to just entertain any kids that are, about.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've drawn a crowd or not.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 start to kind of come up to you and are like really clapping along with it and really enjoying it. Then a few more start to join, and yeah, you are starting to gather a crowd at this point. Make a performance check for me, actually. It's good enough to keep people entertained for a short while. Certainly the children. You can see Kylo as he's kind of like gone behind this male individual and is kind of hugging the back of his legs. The man kind of puts his hand down and ruffles his hair for a moment. The man is human. He looks he looks a little older, maybe in his late 40s, early 50s. It ruffles the child's hair, but he kind of like keeps his eyes focused on you. You watch him kind of put his head down as if to listen to what the child is saying for a moment, and then kind of says something back to him, not that you're hearing any of it, and then keeps his eyes fixed on you.
All right, I'll try and provoke, and I'll kind of look at Kayla and just give him a little wink as I'm playing still.
above the table, I might go a little bit off plan right now, if you guys are cool with
Yeah,
that.
do it. Do it. Do it.
Yeah. Okay, so Laboran sort of like tried nonchalantly just sort of approach the what I presume is his father, as I'm with like the rest of the adults kind of thing, like as casual as he can, and then you like listen to Shimmer for a moment, and then he'd try and act sort of, I guess, surprised and seeing what's her name, Kayla? Is that you say?
Kyla. His name.
Kyla. At seeing Kyla and just be like, "Oh, is this your son? We actually wanted to thank one of my friends. Loved his breakfast so much. She's just dying to meet him and say thank you."
The guy, as you approach closer, he does clock you immediately, and he watches you approach. His face is very stoic and stern and emotionless. As you approach closer and say this to him, kind of frowns at you and gives you a judgmental look. He's like, "How could he be my son? Who are you? Go away."
I don't know. He's hiding behind you. Is no relations? He just did.
Do I look like a halfling to you?
Well, you can have half and half. I'm a half elf.
I think you better walk away.
But can I speak
I said,
to?
fuck off.
All right, mate. Calm down.
You just standing there?
Yeah, I'll stand my ground.
All right. You got some balls on you, have you? Kind of like
Are you interested?
pushes the child away, kind of like behind him, kind of squares up to you. We don't know who you are. You come in here asking questions. Maybe you should just fuck off back to that 10 you're meant to stay in.
Look, I'm just out here trying to thank for the hospitality that we've been shown.
He gives you a
Not
shove.
asking anything else.
He gives you a shove. Make a
Shove
dex
that.
save for me.
Excellent.
Trying to make sure it's not so low that you fall on your ass.
Excellent.
It will be.
It should be fine. Sturdy enough on your feet. You kind of stumble a little bit and you're like, but you don't fall over in the mud. There's not like a 6 feet distance between you. He's definitely like he's looking very defensive in his stance.
I'll give him a shove back and go, "What the fuck's your problem?"
Okay, he's going to try and hit you, mate. So. 1 second. Right, sorry, I don't have his stats on me right now, so I'll watch to roll it like this. Oh, fuck off. That's going to be a 9 to hit.
No.
No, so he swings a punch towards you and you just kind of lean back. He's looking fucking furious. What are the rest of you up to? Shimmer, you're seeing this occurring, like as you're doing your performance and you're kind of glancing and seeing that this is starting to kick off. Willow, likewise.
Oh no! As soon as Laboran got there, I wandered back Lexi to tell them of what the plan was.
Yeah.
And also make sure Lexi wasn't eating death porridge.
Oh, you've gone back to the tent. Okay, so cool. So you're at the tent now, then.
So I'm just explaining the plan to them and just saying Shimmer's going to distract and Laboran's going to follow him if he does a runner. And then the idea is that you, Baldwin, will track Laboran because you know what he smells like. And then we can find the kid and figure out what the fuck is going on.
Oh. Why did you have to use the sending spell if you were just going to come back?
Because we needed... Shut up!
Is it like a beeper? Like I just read the message and like, oh, okay, I'm on my way.
It's
But like, you're already here.
The
I mean, does Baldwin go now?
Yeah, but what
How are they contacting us now that you're here?
Yeah, she's here. You're here now. You don't know what's happening, right?
Well, we can start heading. It's like a 5-minute walk, guys.
I was unaware.
Oh, I didn't know we were leaving.
Carry on.
It's like a
Oh.
15-minute walk because I'm recognizing I only walk 25 feet per 6 seconds.
Wait, what exactly is the plan? Like, what's going on? Where are we going?
So the kid who delivered the food is playing on a field at the top of the camp at the
Yeah.
crevasse.
Damn.
Okay.
So Shimmer's distracting,
Crevice.
like announcing herself with a song, and then we're hoping that the kid does a runner, and that
Okay.
Laborin can follow him, sneaky as he is, and then you can track down Laborin because you know what he smells like. And then we find the kid and we trap the kid in a corner and we scare the living shit out of him and find out what's happening.
Okay.
But also scare the living shit out of him. That's the important part.
And the hunting part was the bad part, but not scaring the shit out of him, right?
Yeah.
We're on the same page. All right, let's go.
All right.
So I'll start
You guys.
All right.
moving back to.
You guys.
You can sit on Junior if you want to move slightly faster.
Can we leave the giant horse behind? Just like what?
I think people are kind of like put off by it. It's kind of weird.
Fine, Junior.
Hard
Try and
placed.
fit in the whole tent. Don't leave your ass hanging out again.
The whole tent just crumble.
Just falls on the horse.
Junior is a large creature.
Okay, so the rest of you are making your way back. Laborin, you're in this tense situation with this individual. What are you doing?
Before I think of something, Shimmer got a reaction to this.
I mean, Shimmer trusts the boring to handle himself, and she's not sure if he's deliberately trying to provoke. So I think she would hang back. If you want her to intervene, you're going to have to glance at her or something because she doesn't want to mess up whatever it is you've got going on.
I don't know whether it could be conveyed. He would sort of try and give a side eye of like he's just making this up on the spot, and as he's just reacting the way he would to like anyone provoking him. I guess what was the last thing you said, Jack? Sorry.
He basically told you to fuck off.
No.
Then it was push, swing.
Miss.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
push, swing, miss.
If Laborin is looking unsure, like, then Shimmer would stop what she was doing and put herself between the two.
Okay, at the moment, you're about 40 feet away.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so you're
fine.
going to stop what you're doing and start making your way
run
back. Okay, so there's things that are going to happen between you before you get there. So you start.
That's okay. I'll make a run for it though. Like I wouldn't be strolling over. I would be running.
Yeah, cool. So you run over. So he's making this swing at you. What are you doing, Laborin? Shimmer, you look in the corner of your eye, see Shimmer starting to run in your direction.
Do you really want to start a fight here in front of all the kids?
Yep, absolutely not a problem for me, mate. And then there's a sudden whack in the back of your head. You don't fall to the ground, but there is another individual that's come out and smacked you in the back of the head. Not enough to do any kind of damage, but you do kind of like fall a bit forward and turn around and see, and there's Michael is stood there and he smacked you in the back of the head.
What a
Oh,
prick.
They both now are squaring up to you. Their backs are to you, Shimmer, and Laborin is in. So they're in between you and Laborin right now. They're kind of like stepping up to you.
How close? are they
Michael's
to
the one who hates Baldwin, Adam.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, it's his dad, isn't it?
Oh, Ed.
No.
He's my enemy rival. In other
My
words,
rival. That's it. Sorry, I don't. I only have access to my notes in 2 weeks.
This is your last chance.
Go
back to your tent and don't come.
I want to. Can I make it there?
Yeah, you've just arrived and you kind of like stood. You can kind of get around the side of them if you want.
Yeah, I'll stand between the first guy and Laborin.
Okay, you kind of muscle your way in between them because they're very much squared up to him at the moment. So you're gonna have to kind of try and
Yeah,
force him back.
I will push my way in. You know what Shimmer's like.
Yeah, okay. As you kind of get your way in, he's kind of like, okay. 2 on 2 seems fair.
It's almost like I'll like try and maneuver Laborin out of the way, and
Yeah.
so it's me in front of them instead of, and then I'll just kind of put my hands out and say, "Stop! We don't want any trouble. There's no need for this. We'll go back to the tent. Just leave us be."
Go on then.
And then I'll kind of give Laborin a look. Be like, come on, we're not here to make trouble. This isn't going to make things any better.
I guess Laborna, he'd stop for a moment, like he's considering ignoring her and starting the fight anyway, but then he'd sort of then listen to the reason, and I think he'd just sort of give them a look that could kill, and then agree with Shimmer.
All right. As you guys kind of start to walk off, you do hear the two of them kind of mutter something and then start to laugh and turn back and see Michael walks over and picks up the halfling boy and kind of like holds him and talks to him. At this point, I'll say that Lexi, Willow, and Baldwin have kind of arrived on the scene. You're about 50 feet away from where you were before, and Willow leads you to where you lot had previously been stood. And you see off in the distance Baldwin, Laborin, and Shimmer kind of walking away from Michael and Hans.
Okay, we kind of wave like, "Hey guys, what's going on?"
I know you've got a beef with that Michael fella and whoever the other one is, but if it comes down to it, I want to fucking kill them.
Oh wait, Michael's here, and then I kind of look up, and I suppose I see Michael, and do I identify the other individual?
Yes, Hans.
Ah, yes,
Hans.
you must have met Hans, his father.
Yeah, the boy didn't run. He hid behind Hans, and then Michael turned up and started giving it large. So I think the pair of them are involved with what happened somehow, but unfortunately I don't know where
Yeah.
the boy would have gone. He just hid behind the human.
Damn blood songs. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him, honestly.
Did they do some regular poisonings back when you were still in the grove?
Nothing that can't be traced back to him. But we had our suspicions. My family and theirs has always been at each other's throats.
Yeah.
But nothing they can prove.
Where do they live?
Where do they live?
I want the home address.
Yeah.
I want.
Oh, well, I mean, it's all in shambles now, and it's up in flames.
Yeah, but I don't know. Can you ask your dad what tent they're in?
Oh, and what tent here? Oh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess we have to find out. Maybe when we see my dad later.
Yeah.
Laborin, calm down.
Meal.
But we can't stoop down to their levels, okay? Don't stoop down to the blood songs. They're filth, okay? We're not filth. We're better than this.
Just think, could we give them some porridge?
Who knows? Like I said, if they are behind this, maybe we can deal with it once we get to it. I mean, obviously, Kyler, you saying he's right there with Hans and Michael. Like, obviously, they must have something to do with it. So,
Yeah.
yes, Lexi.
Baldwin. Who do you suggest? What do you suggest we do? Who do you think we can approach about this?
Well, seeing that Kyler's there with Hans and Michael, just knowing this from just getting here, I feel like I can probably just air it out to them right now, see what's going on.
Do we want to make such an accusation in the middle of the day next to a field of small people?
From what I gathered is that Kyler's very nervous, and so obviously we put on the spot, he'll break. He would spill the beans right here in front of everybody. I'm assuming like there's a crowd, Jack, like
Yeah,
kind of like
so those two have kind of like this altercation has happened. Laborin and Shimmer have walked away. The women have come that were there before have kind of come back to mic on hands, and they're now all talking. You see another couple of people walk up and they start chatting. There's a bit of laughter between them. They point off in your direction. A few moments pass, and Fenrir does approach their group as well, when they start talking.
okay. Well, see, my grandfather's right there.
Okay.
We'll take a break at that point, guys,
shall we?
and we'll pick up afterwards.
Yeah.
Alright.
But yeah, go ahead,
Seasonally.
Lexi. What are you gonna tell me?
All right, so
Yep.
you guys are now stood on the edge of this open space. There's now a crowd that's formed around Michael and Ans and Fenrir.
Shimmer, before we go anywhere, Shimmer will kind of, I don't know, she'll be fussing a little bit over the boring. And she'll
Yeah.
kind of take his hand and say, look, I know it's hard for you to walk away from a fight, but thank you for doing the sensible thing.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll get them soon enough.
Look, I wanted to twat the idiot just as much as you did. If I get a chance, I'll break his fucking nose, but now's not the time.
No, there's plenty of time for that.
I'm trying to have a conversation with my lover, Art Baldwin. Do you mind?
Sorry.
I want to do more than break his nose. He's got what's coming to him. He's definitely involved in all this.
That's fine, but you need to calm down. Calm down and focus. We'll get him when the time's right.
Well, should we at
All right,
least?
Baldwin, do your thing.
What,
Let's go fuck up
we
your
agree on what-
family.
What are we doing? Just walking back over?
Well, I thought
Oh.
Baldwin was going to talk to his grandfather, like right now. 'cause he's
Well,
here.
real quick, like seeing that my grandfather just pulled up, like he's talking to Hans and Michael, I presume. So,
Yep.
what's that looking like from a distance?
Make a perception check for me, or an insight check.
I just want to see like whether or not it's like
Yeah, make an
May
like
insight
I guess
check for
like
me, actually.
nice, or there's a little tension, a little anger. Insight, you said?
Yeah.
May
Okay.
I also?
Why are my dice invisible? What's going on with that?
I can
I
see
see
it.
it.
Yeah.
I can see them.
Yeah, go for it, Lexi. But that'll be it.
It's
Baldwin, it's the situation is confusing to you. Your initial feeling is that just that of why is Fenrir got any kind of association with him at all, beyond just both being members of the Grove. Obviously, your grandfather is kind of leading this current troop, or this camp. So you kind of, for you, it's kind of a needs must kind of interpretation. But for you, Lexi, with the 21, which is very good, you don't sense a friendliness between them. They don't seem like buddies. They appear to be more interacting like almost like business associates. Do you know what I mean? Rather than
Yeah.
kind of, out of any kind of mutual. It's kind of like a mutual respect kind of interpretation you're getting from the way that they're kind of talking and looking, rather than an actual friendliness.
Okay.
Well,
I would say like I'll start walking over there, and then maybe like Lexi like
Oh.
pulls me back real quick.
I mean, I was going to sort of match your speed and sort of talk to you on the way.
Oh, okay. Then well, I don't know how far away we are,
You're
but
about
yeah, you can tell me on the way.
About 50. No, I'm going to say about 75 to 80 feet away at the moment.
Also, there don't seem to be buddies as far as I can tell, but I'd rather clear things up before they drag our names through the gutter.
Okay, so they're not exactly friendly, but they're not exactly kind of
Yeah, it's like
hostile either.
I'm getting sort of mutual respect. Is that? Did they respect each other? Is this a new thing?
No, it's definitely new. That's definitely new.
Oh, this isn't a good sign if our suspected poisoners are in cahoots with the chief.
Right. That's what I was kind of hoping. Maybe probably hold back that information. Maybe just kind of let them know that we're aware, but not send any accusations. Kind of just say hi to Kyler.
I'll let you do the talking. I'll be a bodyguard. I'm not known to say the best things in these times. I feel like my presence as an outsider will be unwelcome. I'll be there in case things go rough.
I appreciate that.
Always.
Okay. So I guess like once we get close enough, I'll be like, hey Michael, everything seems to be good. Hans. Been a while.
They kind of all turn to face you, and they kind of look at you, and they've furrowed brows. Baldwin, your friends, of course.
Happy as ever. How so? I wasn't here for it. What exactly happened?
Invading personal space. Let's say that much.
Oh, I mean, they're just trying to be friendly is all. You know.
Yeah, when we know.
Ever heard of that?
Bringing
Friendly?
rocks around, then maybe we'll be open to that.
Is my just for reference? Is my grandfather within earshot? Like, is he listening
He
to
stood
this?
right there. He's not saying a word though. He's just kind of staring at you.
Okay. Well, it's easy to throw accusations around. Blood songs. I wouldn't put it past you to do something like this.
Like what? What do you mean?
Having the orcs attack us,
This
of
is
course.
Fenrir then he stands up a little taller and he's like, "That's one hell of an accusation, Born One."
You accuse me of the same, grandfather.
You turned up again 5 minutes ago. The blood songs have been nothing but helpful in trying to solve this problem.
This is unlike you. You hate the blood songs. If anything, that's where we get it from.
In times of need, Baldwin, we must do the things we need to do to survive. That means reconciling with old enemies, then that's what we must do. Nay, it be the end of the grove.
I understand. Again, I didn't mean for my companions to cause any trouble. I just they just wanted to be friendly, but no matter. I suppose I'll let you guys get back to it. I just want to say, is Kyler there? Also in your shot, or?
Yeah, Michael's currently holding him.
Okay. And I'll just say, oh, and who's this little guy? He looks a little bit familiar.
Michael kind of pipes up and he's like, "It's part of our family now."
I never seen him before. Was he? Did you take him in after I was gone?
Something like that.
Okay. Well. Oh, well, now I remember him. I believe his name was Kyler, right? He brought us in some breakfast. It was very delicious to die for. To be quite honest with you, kind of giving him a look, like while he's saying that.
He's kind of like snuggled up into Michael's shoulder. He's kind of like doing his best not to look at you.
Mhm.
Michael's like, well, that was nice of him, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Am I getting a hint of like he's kind of admitting it without actually saying it? Like it's like
Get an inside check.
I know what was it. Kind of that kind of like locking eyes, kind of like understanding it.
With a 20. Actually, no. You don't get a sense that he's admitting anything. He's just you get the sense that he's just playing into your words.
Hmm. Okay. By any chance, like with that same insight check, am I able to kind of see anybody else's eyes, or maybe like a little slight reaction, a twitch, something like
It's
that?
pretty good. I mean, from everybody else, no, not really. They're very stoic and hardy individuals that don't really give off a lot of emotion. Nobody seems to flinch or anything, or even give away any kind of tell at what you're saying.
Okay. Okay. Um. Alrighty then. Well, yes. Again, Michael, Hans, long time, especially you, Hans, grandfather. I guess we'll be off to do our own thing. I again apologize for any inconveniences. Meant no harm.
They just kind of nod and kind of turn their back to you and go back to their conversation.
Okay. I guess I walk off and Lexi follows me, I suppose. And then I'll kind of like
Lexi
I'll kind of
hesitates
tell.
for a moment, slightly too long, before sort of walking backwards a couple steps and then swiveling on his foot and walking away.
Well, I guess before, like, if I turn around, like, I don't know, like, would I look at you and maybe you have something to say? Like, before kind of like actually leaving, like walking away?
Not really. I was sort of. We can bring it up later to maybe your grandfather. It
Okay.
feels a bit strange at the moment.
Okay, well, I guess so. As like, I guess we turn around and like we're like away from earshot of them. Like, I'll kind of just say like, I didn't really, when I brought up the breakfast this morning, um, I didn't really get any reaction that would seem that they were aware. I don't know if you've got the same.
No, I was just you did that in a way I personally wouldn't have. I would have. I think in that moment I would have brought up the poisoning. I would have while he was both the blood songs and your grandfather were there, as well as many other people. I would have brought it up and seen if they had a look of guilt on their faces, if they had a knowing thing. I would have, instead of playing it off as wordplay, I would have forced them to lie, if be it, and then the archdruid would have been known that an attempt was made on our lives. I just feel like you did things slightly differently, which is fair.
I know, I understand. I trust me. I was initially, that was my plan going in. I just wanted to kind of keep our cards close to our chest first. Maybe not say anything too out there, because like again, like them being kind of even like remotely talking, even as just what it seems like with mutual respect, is very odd. So they could very well be in cahoots, and that worries me. So I didn't want to bring it up, especially when Fenrir seems to be in control here, and he can easily turn the people against us. And for right now, I feel like we should just be as ignorant as possible. But we can definitely bring it up later when we're alone with him.
Yeah,
I hope you understand.
Yeah, I'd rather it be known that there was an attempt on our lives to at least someone. You trust your grandfather, right?
Yeah, I do. He does. He has a hard job in our family. He's definitely looked upon for guidance and stuff, but he can be hard. He can be particularly hard. But in a way, I do trust him because he has never led us astray.
Which I believe if we have the poison, we have things maybe your grandfather himself can clarify with Kyla, but I'd rather he be aware that an attempt was made on our lives. Just so
to be quite honest, I'd rather bring it up with my mother. I trust her the most here.
Yes,
by far.
I'm down with that. Let's do that option, please.
Of course.
No offense, I trust your mother far more than I trust your father.
She is a delight. She is very nice.
She seems to be. I wish I had one, if I'm being honest.
Oh, you don't have a mother? I didn't know this.
Maybe. I might have.
Well, it's news to me. It's like I'm hearing it for the first time, and I'm sorry for that.
Occasionally, it's news to me.
Okay, so yes, okay. Luckily, we have vials of the death porridge and death smoothie. We can definitely convene with the others and bring it up with my mother. Maybe she can definitely identify this poison for sure. I almost guarantee it.
Maybe it's an MO. Maybe there's been a serial poisoner in these parts.
Maybe. Yeah, we can definitely find that out.
Yeah. We can rejoin the group.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. No, speed walking. We were like walking at a slow pace. Now we're.
I guess while all that was going on, like we'd have probably filled Willow in about how the boy didn't run; he just hid behind Fuckface and whatever.
Fuckface and Fuckface Junior.
Yeah,
Is Fuckface Michael? I'm assuming, or Hans? No, Hans, right? Because he was the one in front of you.
Hans.
Yeah.
Michael was the one that hit you in the back of the head. That I didn't see, but
Yes.
Yeah.
Laborin. Nice bruise there.
you just see like a cartoon, bump on his head.
Laborin, you've gotten taller.
So that was a butt. What do we do next?
No.
We actually gathered some information. Actually, it wasn't a complete bust. We might have some leads.
I still say we find out where they live.
We can get to that. We'll get to that.
After
Let's find out if they're actually
proof.
guilty of something before we start planning their murder.
Yeah, they are
There's
guilty.
usually-
Starting the fight.
Yeah, but I feel like murder is an overreaction. I know that's coming from me, and I've done some pretty terrible things in the past. I'll make eye contact with Shim, but I was like, I'm sorry about the Nothic. But I've changed since then. We've all grown as characters, and I've gotten better at RP. But I feel like, again, we shouldn't jump to murder.
All right, maybe just burn the tent down then.
It could
Or arson, really. After my dream last night, let's stick away from fire.
Yeah. Also, killing a Bloodhound would be pretty. It would have some dire consequences. They're a powerful family here. It would not go quietly.
Yeah.
Like it.
Well, only if
They would
know
definitely
it's-
point a finger at us. Like we're the outsiders. We just got here. They would definitely think it's one of us.
Okay,
If
so
they're
we have a look
involved-
around then, and then
Right.
on our way out, we burn the tent down.
I'm gonna steer. Throughout the rest of our place here. I'm gonna try and steer you away from those urges,
Sorry, Will,
unless we know they're guilty. And if they're guilty, arson all you want. That's not against my oath, right?
I'll be right there with you. If they're the cause of all this, I'm right there with you. I'll be
Right.
burning.
How
them.
about we move away from discussing murder and arson in this very public field?
They have.
At that point, it wouldn't be murder. It would be self-defense if they're responsible for all of this.
that's not gonna be. But that's not gonna be self-defense. That's gonna be revenge.
Which is still bad.
I mean, in this context, yes, we're alive.
I guess true. It'll be revenge if we find out like they're doing some bad
I'd have
stuff.
to take up a different oath.
Lexi in a minefield of oath breaking.
I was about to say, stepping on eggshells.
All right, what are you guys
They
doing?
do have
Currently,
motive to
Shim-
try and yes.
Shimmer
Whispering.
Shimmer and Willow, you got anything you want to add to this, or are you thinking about bouncing?
I think we should just go back to the tent and wait to be seen by one of Baldwin's parents. I assume they're going to come back for you at some point.
I think they say the night before or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't quite remember if they said they might see us again. But yeah, I mean, we can definitely go back to the
I'm
tent.
pretty sure they did.
Well, either way, we can head back to the tent, so we can go somewhere quiet because that way we can catch up with what to do next. And
I think your father said he was going to, in the morning, try and work out a way to prove your innocence. So I assume he's coming back.
Was that before or
Yeah.
after he punched his son in the face?
Oh, that was after. So I'm sure he meant it.
Willow's just going to stand and stare at them all, just kind of standing there and sounds turn around back.
I was waiting for Lexi to say something. It looks like he wants to get something off his chest.
I mean, it was just gonna be not to defend them, but they might have motive. They did sort of hint to, though they didn't hint. They outright said, "Someone's brought some orcs here," while making direct eye contact with us. So that either they believe we have brought the orcs, they're trying to palm the suspicions off of them, if any. I personally state the fact that the orcs were here before they knew we existed. We slaughtered the orcs to get here. I feel like those are 2 points in the innocent column.
I mean, it also depends. Like, how long were the orcs here before we got here? That's a
Yeah.
question.
We should probably stop
Maybe we-
discussing this in the middle of a
Um,
field.
I'm
No,
whispering.
yeah. I
You
said
wouldn't
with
pay attention to me.
Even if no one turns up at the tent, let's take a couple of hours just to, chit chat.
Yeah. Short rest. Get my health back.
Chat.
All right, easily done. You make your way back to the tent. Upon arrival, the scattered cups of death smoothie, and your beds and the likes have all been made, and the place has been tidied up a little bit.
Or did they take the rest of the death porridge?
Yeah, it's all gone.
No! Our evidence! Luckily, we kept the vial.
We're not just
Yeah,
going to
put a
pull a
vial.
vial of death porridge, like
Sorry,
evidence.
I forgot. We have some evidence. Thank God I remembered to pocket some death porridge. Good on me.
No, yeah, that was very smart, actually. Yeah.
Self-confidence is
Maybe
key. in
you
these
Oh
could-
yeah, I
situations.
wonder who suggested that.
There is
You
also
still lick
We thought
some
of it
off
at the same time. You simply voiced your opinion beforehand.
there's also a large bowl of good berries on the table in the center of the tent.
No, I'm actually suspicious about it, right?
No. Willow.
No.
No. I'm not suggesting you consume it, but we have been given poisonous food before. Will it
Okay.
or will it heal?
I am not your
Mm.
personal food tester.
I know.
Will it wounds or will it heal?
Yes, I just feel like this is a cure or inflict capability. And I am
Not your personal food tester. And she'll just stick her finger up and walk to the other side of the tent.
I will I'm not saying I am
Just
simply
leave
curious.
just leave the food, Lexi. Don't know what to trust.
You can heal yourself if it hurts.
Fine, I will. I'll nab a berry. I already shoved some porridge in me earlier. That's a quote.
This berry's just instant kill.
What's your health at?
I am at 57 hit
He's-
points.
Our kill
And
berries.
what's your max?
69.
Heals you to your max.
Yeah. Good berries. Stay
Oh,
away.
I'll have a couple as
Willow,
well then,
do not
please.
touch the berries.
Yeah, so each one will sort you out for 10 hit points.
I no longer need to short rest people.
Jesus Christ.
Well, that would have only benefited you.
I'm aware.
True. Well, actually, it could benefit me too because I'd use one wild shape, so I will take the short rest.
Go to
I will take the
sleep
short rest.
and good night.
Short rest is
La-da.
definitely doable, yeah.
But I mean, I guess while we're there, like we kind of just like maybe me and Lexi like break it down like our suspicions and talk about that. Maybe we should bring this up with my mother since she's the one I trust the most, and
Yes.
that the way that the blood songs and my grandfather are like kind of like mutually respecting each other is still kind of suspicious. Like not even kind of, it's very suspicious. Like they hate each other.
In great situations, people tend to sort of make do with what they have, even if it is enemies. And this seemed,
Mhm.
from the state of your grove and the constant attacks here, this seems to be a part of those grave situations. So it could just be that. They
It
also seem
does.
suspicious as hell with the death
Yeah.
child.
Why,
can just-
yeah,
Bring it up with your mother.
yeah, it's definitely the safest bet. Because like, if like I said, I didn't catch any suspicion that they knew what I was talking about. But you're right, I didn't outright just say it. But I want to keep that card close to our chest first. But I didn't catch anything from the breakfast. 'Cause I feel like just saying, like they would have been like, "Here, take him this breakfast." It seems like the kid was aware that it was poison beforehand. So I feel like they would have known what I meant by the breakfast was to die for.
We're never going to get near the
By
kid
the way.
now.
Well,
Mhm.
we still can because we know like Hans and Michael are with them, so we can always find them somewhere. And I'm sure my parents will always know where they are. Like
I
we always
doubt-
keep close
I
tabs on
doubt
them.
they'll pull a runner.
Yeah, definitely not.
I doubt they're
They'd
going to
be
leave
very
them
suspicious.
unsupervised either.
Yeah.
But my mother can identify the poison. Maybe she can trace it or something to know where maybe where it comes from, or if it's tied to somebody that knows this poison is obviously very dangerous.
Yeah.
deals a lot of damage.
Take a short rest while
Okay,
you're having
cool.
this conversation, guys. It's absolutely fine.
So I feel like the next course action is definitely to speak to my mother about it, since we have some of the.
And I assume your grandfather would trust your mother more than you, being he already seems to slightly dislike your presence.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't trust me being here. So coincidentally, while they got attacked, and I didn't finish my my rite of passage, so that is suspicious that I came early as they were being attacked by orcs.
Can
So-
I ask you something about your rite of passage? Seems strangely vague. It is bring something. How do they sort of? How do you pass
Quantify it?
the final druid exam?
It's just anything like it's kind of like you know it when you see it. It's it needs to be something like pretty valuable, I would say. It
Okay.
needs to be magical,
So,
not just like any random thing.
not something I've discussed with you in detail, RJ, but you would absolutely know this. The rite of passage is exactly that. It's essentially in two stages. The first is that you adventure for as long as you can, and you achieve great things, and you return to the grove successful through conquering or glory or whatever it is, and you return with an offering essentially to the grove, something of value, something of power, something of significance, import, whatever it is. Then once you've done that and the council has accepted your offering, you then face trials. And these trials are intended to test somebody to become an elevated member of the grove.
Yes. VIP membership.
Yes,
I think
the rewards program.
Yeah.
I mean, your whole rite of passage brought you back here anyway. The only reason why you came back here was to help try and save everything. I think they'd be a little bit responsive to that.
Yeah, I guess it's just like the coincidence of the attack and my returning here with you guys, and coming back while like not even bringing an offering is probably what was very suspicious to them. So, and the grove has always come first. It's always grove, family, and that's pretty much it. Like to hell with the rest, I suppose. Very traditional.
A little bit of time passes while you're having this conversation. You guys are kind of sat around, and you can make yourself a cup of tea or whatever it is that you want to do, get your equipment in order, that kind of stuff. After a couple of hours or so, as you're all sat around talking, suddenly a loud bang that appears to come from within the tent, that is then followed by a stream of colorful confetti that fills the room and then slowly rains down onto the floor. And as you're all kind of like in a moment of shock, and you're in a high anxiety anyway, kind of leap to your feet or whatever, and then bursting through the flap in the tent and kind of with a ta-da, stands Xander.
Oh,
Sorry, guys. I had to do it. I'm sorry. I had to do it.
My great sword is out. My great sword is out already.
Oh, mate, it's cool. I'm just joking.
Smite is prepared.
I'm only joking. And then he's got his one hand behind his back, and he pulls another one out, and bang, pops another one.
Oh, Shimmer,
Man,
would have been
we're-
really impressed with that.
We're on edge, mate. What are you doing?
What? Oh, sorry. You guys good? So I just got back like a couple hours ago.
Yeah, I mean, how'd it go? Everything good?
Yeah. Michael's a prick. He just like bolted off ahead of me, and he got back like I think he was like 6 hours ahead of me or something. But yeah.
Yeah. He punched LeBron in the back of the head.
He did what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did he actually punch? Is that what?
Yeah, he did.
I
It
heard a
was like
stick.
it was like yeah, it
Um,
was a punch in the back of the head, but not one with the intent to harm, just with intent to throw
He
you off
got
balance.
he got
Dis-
donkey punched.
What?
The fuck's a donkey punch?
Donkey.
You never heard of that?
You never heard of a donkey punch?
No.
Wow, don't Google that.
Do,
Don't look it up.
Google it.
Look it up.
Don't Google that.
Anyone watching this stream,
Yep.
don't Google it.
Absolutely don't do that.
One second, I'm a child. I don't know anything.
You've been warned.
Let's see immediately. Jacob and Adam Googling.
Google it in incognito mode, please.
Okay.
Why would you? What?
Yeah, don't worry. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, Xander's kind of busted in, like, "Hey guys, what's going on? Why are you guys all so uptight? Chill out."
I don't. Have you been noticing like my grandfather hanging out with the blood songs? Like it's pretty weird. Like what you been noticing?
I mean, yeah, maybe a little bit. I guess not a massive deal. I mean, things are pretty rough right now, and everybody's trying to like kind of band together and all that kind of stuff. So needs must. But yeah, I guess I wouldn't say they're pally though. But don't worry about it. It's all good.
Okay, and what's the vibe with the other members of the Grove? What are they? Have you heard anything that what they're saying about us? What do you think? Suspicions?
What about you guys?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've only been back a couple hours, mate. So I'm not that. I don't know. Not heard anything.
Okay,
I'll keep an ear out for you though.
I appreciate that. We gotta get out of here.
They're not letting you leave.
No, they're not. My grandfather's keeping us here.
Well, sorry to say it, but your grandfather's a fucking asshole.
Whenever he gets a lick of power, he gets like this.
Yep.
He's the chief. Is he not always like this?
Oh, he's not
No.
the chief.
No, he's not the
No, I
chief
mean,
at all.
Arch Druid, big boss, top of
No.
is he not?
I don't know if he's an archdruid. Definitely thinks he is, but no.
I
I'm not
was
sure
under the
it.
impression that he
Belindra
was.
would kick his ass on a fight any day.
Yeah.
New name.
No,
Yes.
We heard this name in the last session, Adam.
Again, I only have access to my notes. It's been 2 weeks.
That's your aunt, isn't it?
Yeah, my great aunt.
Don't make me say it the stupid way.
Oh,
What do you mean?
That's your aunt.
you
Ant.
Aunt.
your aunt?
It's
aunt.
aunt, not aunt. I don't like saying aunt. Aunt. Ant sounds like an ant, like it's an insect. I just say aunt.
Auntie.
God,
Just use context.
actual aunt.
Yeah,
But yeah, my great aunt.
He's like, I don't know if Bolden's told you guys, but he's kind of a big deal, but not really compared to
Not really.
Felindra. Like he's
Yeah.
he's taken up like this kind of I'm a big important guy now because I'm the most senior person here kind of vibe.
Yeah. He's
old
not
is
even
he?
an elder.
He's
He's
an
Old
elf,
even, is he?
sure, but
But where is she?
we don't know.
Oh, helpful.
Yeah, we assume that she's in one of the other camps, but we don't. There's like loads dotted around.
Really need. to
Yeah,
get
that's
my
what I was thinking
communication
too.
thing sorted.
And my sister's there too, so that's why I gotta go see if she's okay.
Yeah, everybody's been split up. I did hear. I caught up with a couple of other guys that had been trying to do some scavenging. Some of the other camps have had it far worse than here.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really wish we can get out of here so I can go, see to that. I'm terribly worried about what's going on with the rest of the grove. You wouldn't know any way of maybe sneaking out of here or something. You've been here longer than us.
I mean,
I'd rather we didn't.
we've been camped up here for like.
Well,
a
not
couple
now.
weeks, so- I mean,
No, but just-
like, I don't know, dude. You could fly out, maybe. I don't know.
Like,
I'm not
yeah.
there. You know, I'm not there yet. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I'm getting into it. I'm very close. I don't know. Any moment now, I can just kind of like sprout wings, but I'm just not there yet.
Yeah, I feel. If it makes you feel any better, I didn't complete my rite of passage either when I came back, so they were pretty pissed at me when I got back.
Did you
Wait,
get
why did you
accused
come
of
back?
releasing
Yeah.
orcs into the camp? Or is
No,
that
no.
specifically a weird new people from outside thing?
No, this is like 10, 12 months ago, maybe. Yeah, like a long time ago.
Why'd you get back so soon? I didn't. I didn't even think to ask. I thought you were.
Oh, it's
You
fine.
know, you thought you did it.
No, I got into some trouble. I got injured. He kind of like then lifts up one of his trouser legs, and you can see there's like this massive scar down his shin.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that happened, and then I met this guy, and he kind of like helped me out a little bit, healed me up, and he taught me a few things that were interesting. And then then I was like, I wasn't in a good state. He disappeared, and then I came back, and I've just kind of stayed. I mean, they were really not happy. But yeah,
Who was this guy?
oh, he's like some druid guy that I met when I was out and about. He's kind of like a loner, I guess.
Does druid guy have a name, or is it just druid guy?
Yeah. His name was on checks notes. Oh, his his name is Monev.
Monev.
Yeah.
Druid guy Monev.
Doesn't ring the bell to me.
Not one of ours, right? Hermit.
Yeah,
Hermit
like
druid.
a hermit kind of guy. Yeah, had some really crazy ideas, but
Any grove that is he tied to any grove that we know of? Or he didn't really say.
I don't know that he was tied to any grove.
Okay.
What
I
do you mean
see.
by crazy ideas? Just like weird ways of living or something? Or
Yeah, something like that.
Anything in specific that he said that stands out? Or is it just
Well, you know, like
weird guy?
he was a definitely a weird guy. I didn't really get where he'd come from before. To be honest, I was in a state of mostly unconsciousness at the time, but while he was trying to heal me up. But he had some crazy ideas about the way druids work. And like it can be limiting, right? Like the way that we do that. And he was trying to tell me that there were other ways to do it, and I was kind of like, I don't really think so. He was saying, yeah, you can absolutely like actually wild shape into anything you want, and I was like, no, you can't. He tried to show me, I didn't really buy into it, and then I think he gave up because he just disappeared.
Interesting. Yeah, that is strange. Just anything?
Just anything
Anything at all?
at all.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Super weird. But anyway, I came back and kind of like begged to get a second chance and promised to work really hard in the grove and stuff, which I've been doing.
Mhm.
And then they said they'd give me another chance to have a go at the rite of passage, which I've been thinking about, but my leg's still a bit gammy, so I'm gonna give it some time.
Oh yeah, understood. No, you should definitely do it 100%. It's a dangerous world out there.
Dude, it's
Obviously,
so
you're
fucked up.
yeah, your leg's in the testament to that. So
Yeah.
hopefully he heals better. Hopefully he gets better. Start here.
What about you? You obviously back early. I know you said you needed to work out, but were you gonna get back out there or?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I just gotta get out of here first. Man, I just gotta get these suspicions off her back. Grandfather's being a dick, so we gotta sort that out. Either sort that out with him, or find a way out of here to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, I'd rather have these suspicions affixed the correct person's back before we leave.
Yeah, I mean,
As in, they think you're
since you came back
responsible
in,
for the orcs or something?
yeah, they think
Yeah,
I guess because I came back without my offering, that
us.
coincidentally
Oh, shit.
that we came here and thought it was us.
That's fucked up,
They
dude.
sort of said it. Yeah, they said it.
Yeah, I
to
know.
my face.
Well,
And then other things happened, but that can be another time.
other things happened?
I shall leave it to the others if they are willing to share that information.
How big are your grove on assassinations?
I mean, it's definitely happened before. Look, the way this grove works is a little bit weird, right?
Getting that.
Sure.
Hmm.
You probably think of druids and you probably think, oh, nature, flowers, leaves, woo! But that's not quite how it works here. This is a different kind of place. Hey, Baldwin, did you tell them the thing about what happens with the trial and stuff?
No, of course, no. Of course
okay.
not.
So anyway, so things are a bit weird here, and the families, they kind of look after each other and they get on, and then sometimes they don't get on, and over generations and generations this shit kind of persists, and they try and kill each other, and they'll have fights out in the middle of the open, and it'll kind of be a bit of a blood game, and maybe there's some betting going on, but I don't know about that. And then yeah, that's about it.
And
Summed it up
poisoning?
pretty nicely.
Poisonings? Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. Possible.
Are there any families that particularly like a good poisoning?
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't think so. Why are you writing everything down?
Historical
That's it.
accuracy.
Oh, right, okay.
She
Some
does
interesting
that.
friends, Baldwin.
Yeah, she's a bit of a writer. It's
Yeah.
okay.
You some kind of scholar or something? What is this?
Ask less questions.
All right.
Yes.
She's a moody one.
It's all right.
Alrighty.
But you see my parents any as you came into town? Anything like
Bumped
that?
into your dad. I said hi. He frowned at me. I was like, okay, fair enough, and that was about it.
Or do you know where you saw him by any chance?
He was just near the main gate. They were dragging some people back in. I think there'd been a skirmish a few miles away, but
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, it's good catching up then.
yeah, definitely, dude. I'm not got any plans to go anywhere for the moment. So yeah, I'll see you around, I guess. Keep your head down though, mate. Like, don't worry about this shit. We'll sort it out. If I have any ideas, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. All right. Take care now.
All right, guys. Catch you in a
Yeah.
bit. And he turns his back to you and goes to walk out, and then he quickly spins around again and fires off another confetti gun.
Bastard.
and walks out.
Dude.
Next time you do that, you will lose that hand.
You gotta hear him laughing as he's walking off down the road.
So what's next? I guess do we wait for my dad to come back?
Weird.
What time is it?
Time? Mid-afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still early.
He still hasn't stopped by. Lying ass.
He didn't exactly give us a time, did he? Of when he was.
I don't know.
showing?
I don't know. I think we should just look for him. Or look for my mom at least.
Yeah,
Gotta get
I'd
this
rather look for
poisoning
your
stuff.
mum than wait for your dad.
Yeah, let's. I don't know. Can we just kind of like stroll around to see if we kind of just bump into her, or maybe she had like her own tent, like on a higher precipice or something?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to wander around the camp for a bit, I mean, it's not a massive place, so you know, if you want to wander
So
around and
let's
just keep
see.
an eye out for it, just roll. Just two of you roll me an investigation check.
Oh, roll. Supposed to be good at these things.
I still have advantage, don't I?
Yes. Let's let the two smart people do it.
Yep.
Smart is not the word you were looking for.
It's good. 15's
They're
great.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Higher than what Lexi will get.
Yeah, so you spend
Yeah.
not a great deal of time. Like you skirt around the outside of the camp, and you do see Baldwin's mother. She appears to be kind of like talking to a group of women, kind of almost in an instructional way. She appears to be kind of giving them instructions on like where to put things and like how to, you know, stack things into a certain manner so that they're more logistically available and this kind of stuff. She's just kind of seems to be supervising some of the tasks that are going on around the camp.
I was like, "Hey, Mom, how are you?"
As you approach, oh, hey, sweetie, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Well, whenever you're free, could we, speak to you in private somewhere? It's kind of important.
Yeah, it wouldn't be about your friends getting into a fight with the Bloodsongs, would it?
Slight relation, but well, we can definitely explain that somewhere private.
They started that fight. The problem would interrupt.
Not here.
Now is not the time.
Right, not here. We
Okay.
can definitely get to that though.
I mean, I don't doubt that. Sure. Let's go back to your tent and we can have a chat.
Okay.
Just give me 1 second, and then she'll just go and quickly speak to one of the other women, and she's like nods at her and takes over control of whatever that is that they were up to, and kind of follows you back to your tent.
Nice. Okay, so I mean, who wants to like bring up the porridge and stuff?
Porridge.
So someone tried to kill us this morning.
Wait, quietly.
We're in
Wait, make sure no one's.
Fine.
Who
We're
tried
in the
to
tent.
kill you? Ow.
A child with breakfast.
But
Exhibit A.
She kind of laughs. It's like,
no, the child delivered breakfast. We don't think the child was behind the
Oh, no,
the attempted poisoning.
Yes. The breakfast wasn't a weapon.
Kyla brought us some smoothies and some porridge for breakfast, except Shimmer had some and was poisoned.
uh-huh.
I also had some. of
And
the
Lexi
porridge.
had some and was also poisoned. but
After the fact, after we knew it was poisonous.
that was sheer
whatever reason.
stupidity, that one.
We had no indication that the porridge was also poisoned.
It's safe. It was safe to assume.
I simply enjoy porridge.
Okay. Well, Kyla is an adopted son of Michael Bloodsong.
Hmm.
So that's interesting. Why would they want to poison you though?
They're the blood
They-
songs. Why else?
Sure.
And
Can't trust
I
them.
think they might have. I think they suspect us for maybe leading the auction. Even though
Hmm.
we did not, I'd like to point out, no, not guilty. I am honest man.
I know.
I have sworn oath of goodness
I know.
and greatness. Thank you, Mom.
I know. And she'll turn
Thing is
to
that
you,
they
Baldwin, and
lied.
just put her hands on your face. Deepest respect, sweetie. If they wanted to kill one of us, don't you think they'd probably want to kill your father or myself or your grandfather, rather than your friends?
Well, that's the thing. I didn't see that they gave any indication that they actually knew when I, in a way, brought it up to them, in a sense, mentioning the breakfast. But Kyler was definitely aware, since he was very nervous and skittish and sweating profusely while he was here in the morning. If it wasn't them, I don't know who else would have directed the child to deliver the poisoned breakfast to us. It's very suspicious.
Oh,
Indeed.
Also,
Unless-
it was very rude.
Straight up
Someone was-
lied as well. I asked them if Kyla was his, and he was just like basically trying to say, "Isn't it obvious he's not?" and all that.
To be fair, he is an asshole, so he probably just was being very dismissive of you.
Yeah, that's probably what that was. Yeah, sweetie.
This this is a wild one and might be slightly out of left field, but based on their history with you and history with them, someone could be framing them and using Kyla to do it.
Maybe. I just don't understand why you guys and why now.
I mean,
We have arrived at a rather
suspicious
interesting time.
for unwelcome strangers.
So,
Not on purpose. We could have made the 3-day detour to Elturel and had a completely separate story, but we totally missed that opportunity and just kept traveling. So
Yeah.
technically, we've arrived ahead of schedule.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
We could have just hit
I guess I
Elturel
booked
and all that.
Elturel. I've missed it now.
I was chatting to
Oh, this is going
Bartholomew last night. We were working out a way in which you guys can clear your name. The immediate thing that we kind of came up with was that time is one way. We wait it out. As long as you're here, you're not orchestrating any orc attacks, right? But that doesn't...
Orchestrating, I get it.
Fun.
Lexi.
Very good.
Sorry. Lexi will leave the tent.
This is a serious matter, my gluey blue friend. That's one option, although not necessarily the fastest. One might be to hunt out these orcs yourselves and return with proof that you have dispatched them and get everybody back to the grove. That is no small feat, though, I would suggest.
We're also
I
not
kinda
allowed to leave the
looked,
camp.
Yeah, that's true.
Might be able to help with that.
I look at
begging
Lexi,
your
like, don't
pardon.
you have a spell like Zone of Truth?
Due to the fact that I'm the one casting it, it'll be I'm not sure if they'll believe it. I've had that trouble before. I was debating whether or not to do it during when we were at the that fortress with the Woods Lions. I debated casting it then, but some again, they'd have to
On
believe
lay
I
roll?
chose.
You were going to cast it on Leroy?
Yeah.
Fucking good luck with that.
No, I was going to cast it on that weird old woman. And then when we first,
Oh, yeah.
when we gave them the hair.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I didn't want to give them bits of me so they could keep scrying on it. So I suggested, why don't I just Zone of Truth? But then
Oh,
for some
yes.
reason that doesn't work, and I don't remember specifically why.
Because you could pretend to fail it, but not.
I could pretend to fail the save, and then yeah.
But also, I think the old lady cast Zone of Truth
She did.
to stop us from lying about our names.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Yes.
So she did it first.
Anyway.
But I mean, anyway, would that is absolve us of any suspicion if we were to Zone of Truth ourselves and put ourselves in front of the grove and confess like our truth, say our truth?
Surely, with enough druids to here, they have a powerful enough spellcaster of their own. I don't know exactly what kind of spells druids cast. You're more an animal form.
I mean,
Chima, were you going to say something?
No, I'm good.
I mean, it's a little. I feel like it's a little weak. The problem is, your grandfather, while leading the camp right now, does not. His methods do not garner the respect that he would like. Additionally, there are people that frankly just want to go home. And so if they feel like they can pin the blame on somebody regardless, and that means that action is taken, then that's what they'll do, because they want the issue resolved, whether it actually does so or not. So I
see.
suspect that honesty is only going to get you so far.
But why
Action, though.
poison us then?
We can
If he
prove
wants
ourselves
to
through action.
palm the blame off someone, why poison whoever you're blaming?
I
Why
believe,
have if one of us has died?
I believe that's exactly what I said at the beginning.
Yes, it is. Thank you. I'm just making sure you remember.
It is true, though. We don't know why, like, we would be targeted. But why would they use Kyler? And if it wasn't the Blood Songs, then who was it?
Here's a wild theory out of left field.
You like those?
Ideally fun. We've waltzed in suspiciously looking like we've brought a load of orcs with us, despite the fact that you were all attacked by orcs before we even got here. Different problem. We've then started asking questions about a really old, potentially missing relic that apparently nobody's ever heard of. Everybody is very aware of Baldwin's feelings about the blood songs based on your entire family's little feud. And all of a sudden, we're being poisoned using a child that is part of the Bloodsongs family. This is all very good timing and feels like it might have something to do with the obsidian relic.
Somebody could be trying to get us out the way. Yeah.
Very powerful, magical thing, might I add.
Yeah. Like I said,
This
Would be
might not
operating.
have anything to do with the orcs at all. The orcs might be a cover-up. I'm getting deep in the conspiracy theories here.
I know this isn't
The
deep
orcs are a
state stuff.
cover-up to cover up the fact that somebody in this grove has stolen the obsidian shard, and then we rock up looking for said shard to try and save the fucking world, might I add. And then all of a sudden, we're trapped in the camp, accused of bringing the orcs, and then poisoned the next.
It was an inside job, I tell you. It was an inside job.
But, you know, wild theory, out of left field, could be totally.
been any ginger people hanging around recently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not quite
We
sure.
spot any.
Have you seen anybody who looks like the hair's on?
Yeah. Fun fact: we hate gingers.
Have you
So.
seen someone surprisingly calm about their current on fireness?
No,
Yeah.
nothing like that.
You can rule him out.
I think if
Maybe.
we can find some way of unpicking where these orcs are coming from, why they're attacking the grove and our people, and you can stop them, and end this and return everybody home, then maybe they'll listen to you.
Sounds like a plan.
If you can do that,
If there's one thing.
then you will certainly have Thalindras here.
Would you know? Are you proficient in any like poisons? You know any poisons? I don't recall.
Yeah, I know.
If you can.
A few interesting herbs and mushrooms that could make one feel rather unwell.
We do have a sample of the death porridge, as I've taken to
Mhm.
The
calling it.
death porridge. Okay.
Yes.
Sure. Well, happily have a look.
Oh, and death smoothie.
Willow will pull the vials out of her bag and put them on the table.
It looks delicious, but it's not.
It tastes delicious, and then it went really bad.
Really? It didn't taste like anything.
She
Uh,
I think there's a reason for that, Willow. That
yeah, that's the reason for that.
You still taste things?
She takes the
No,
vial.
we got COVID.
She takes the vial with the death smoothie in it, and pops the cork. You then see she uses druid craft to craft a white, a large white leaf. It's about the size. It's about the size of an A4 sheet of paper, and it's got black veins within it. And she tips the vial onto the leaf, and there's a kind of a small sizzling and a smoke that comes from within it, and the leaf turns a really dark green. Ah, yes, definitely poison. I would say of the some kind of mushroom. but not one that I'm familiar with. Not a local one, I'd say.
Okay, so this poison was outsourced. It seems so from somewhere else.
Possibly. I mean, normally the kind of things that I would be familiar with would have a different tint to them, but this is unfamiliar.
Packs a hell of a kick.
Interesting.
Oh, I'm sure it does. And she'll cork the bottle again.
Okay. Nobody in the grove would have access to where this could possibly come from. I'm sure everyone in the grove would stay relatively close to the grove. Wouldn't venture too far.
Yeah, I mean, maybe somebody's somehow imported it into the grove, or picked it up on some kind of travel or something. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't recognize it, and it definitely doesn't grow in the grove.
Okay.
I mean, who else do we know that's been speaking to weird people that might be outsourcing poisons?
Well,
We didn't pass any traders on the way here. The gap
What I'm
between
saying is,
Are you thinking of Xander and his weird druid friend?
yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think Xander might have had any. I mean, maybe he did, but I don't think he necessarily had anything to do with it. But it seems like a little bit convenient that there's this weird fucking guy with all his crazy ideas that just disappears suddenly. I don't know.
couldn't possibly be Xander. I trust that guy with my life.
Like I said, I don't necessarily think Xander might not. Xander might be fine. Xander might just came across the guy that has been behind this.
Xander
Oh,
is
I
a
see.
wonderful young man, and I don't think he would have anything to do with this.
Wow. We must be. Well, we know. All we know is that it was Kyler for sure that brought us this food, and he definitely gets nervous when we're around. How long has it been adopted by the Blood Songs by Michael?
6 months or so, I believe.
Fairly recently, huh?
very recent.
Michael returned
Uh,
from his rite of passage with the boy and an offering. Um,
Very interesting that he did that.
That's his offering?
was awaiting the start of his trial before everything happened, and
Was the boy his
The-
offering?
no, the boy was not his offering.
No,
Okay, I was worried for a
the
minute.
elders allowed for him to keep the boy in the grove.
His father fought quite hard. He had a favor with Thalindra one way or another, and she agreed.
Interesting. And how? Remind me again. When did the orcs attack?
It must have been 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Okay, around 2 months
And
ago.
yesterday.
And yesterday. Could be tied. Well, what do you
Well,
think we
if
should
you
do
think-
there? Should we? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
If you think that we need to go find these orcs, then we should maybe look to that. You said you could help us to get out of here. How can you do that, and where would you suggest we start looking?
It wouldn't be tonight. We'd need to do some prep. There are some ways that I can help get you out. It's a bit risky, but I honestly think you would probably need a lead for doing so. Where would you start looking? Anyway.
Check in with the
That's
other
the
camps. Probably.
Possible. We know where 1 or 2 are.
Maybe go back to the grove, or at least in that vicinity, and see
Well,
if there's something.
we did hear
there.
from Xander that there were other camps out there that weren't faring too well. It was this one,
Yeah.
so maybe he would know the location. like precisely?
He might do.
Yeah.
Where's our lead?
A lot of the runners have been catching each other on the trails, so possible.
Probably
Yeah.
exchanging information.
It's one of the only forms of communication we have at the moment.
Right.
Those that can fly are flying, but we only know where some of the camps are.
Okay.
I think it's probably safer if nobody in the camp, even lovely Xander, knows what's going on. I think we should just. I don't think we should tell anyone else here.
If you think that's what's
No matter
best,
how-
then
No matter how perfect he seems.
If it is an inside job, the less people, the better.
Yeah.
I'll stand behind you guys. Yeah.
Well, give me.
If you know where at least a couple of the others are, then we could head there first.
Okay, give me a few days and to have a conversation with your father, of course, to try and work out a way that we can get you out. Any information you can gather in the meantime is obviously going to help. Wouldn't want you to be wandering around and essentially end up being hunted by Fenrir. Although I'm sure you're aware that his abilities would be to be able to do that. So, cautious.
Could I
course.
not just invis us all out?
I don't think disappearing without warning would do anything for our reputation.
Well, we're not telling anyone we're going, are we? I thought we just said that.
I'm assuming there's guards with animals that can probably smell us.
A lack of presence would be known the next morning. Fenrir would most certainly be on the hunt. Invisibility will get you
All right,
so
we'll
far.
chill.
But this is a tense place, but it is the safest for you right now, where you are seen.
Okay.
Excuse me, that statement with some suspicion.
What do you mean?
May I request we switch tents?
Explain yourself.
Well, due to the attempt on our life this morning, I personally don't feel the safest here. I felt safer. I'll tell you that now.
You seem to handle yourselves with the orcs when you arrived, so the fight is not something that you have an issue with. And she will druid craft a handful of these white leaves and put them down on the table. And now you needn't worry about poisoning.
Thank you.
Okay, so that we just put the food on there and it'll identify whether or not it's poisonous.
Yes, absolutely. They failed to poison you. It was a fairly vain attempt, if you ask me. I think they might have underestimated you.
Our constitution is
Just a little bit.
far too high.
Yeah. They don't understand my
Mine
biology.
isn't.
And, you know, if a scuffle was to break out far beyond the isolation of yourselves and whoever you are fighting. So, don't worry about that.
Yeah. I suppose that there was another thing. As Kyler had left us with the food, I did spot a pair of eyes and I did smell a bunny. Have you been seeing anybody like, preferring to change into a bunny of late, or even earlier today?
Kyler does like to wild shape into a bunny.
I see.
Ah.
Thank you, Mother. That's actually very useful information.
Of course. He's still learning.
I see. Yeah, he probably need to talk to him or something. Do you or I've been hearing this, but it's news to me. I just got back. My grandfather Fenrir and the Bloodsong's kind of getting along. I understand that it is dire times, but it's nothing that grandfather would do normally, would he?
Your father would say that it is out of need, more than anything else. Which has been true. I have had conversations with the Bloodsongs myself in matters of keeping the camp in order, so when we need to talk, we have to, and we will. For the greater good of the grove.
Mm. Do you think Grandfather would choose them over me and my companions if something were to break out between me and us and the Bloodsongs?
Grandfather is a complex man. He has aspirations and desires,
Mm.
and as you well know, with Valindra, family ties are not more important than the grove. If he thinks you might be a threat to the grove, then I wouldn't be surprised if he did turn against you. So, must be careful.
Of course, yes. Could have ruined that earlier, but luckily didn't bring it up in time. Well, I suppose that's everything from me. I don't know if my companions have anything else to add.
I just thank you for your honesty and your hospitality, Mom.
Mm.
Well, anything for my son.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is it possible to get some paper? If there's any in the camp?
I will have a look around and find some for you, yes.
And
Okay.
a quill?
Yes, I assumed you would want to write on it.
Yes.
Certainly.
Is that for other
ink.
needs? Toilet paper?
No, it's for writing.
Is
Yeah,
this
we've
to,
run out.
Is this to copy spell scrolls?
Yes, it is.
You will need far more valuable paper than she will be able to provide you.
God damn it! I'll take the paper anyway.
Yeah, but no,
Willow's
you can write
notepad.
down your annoyances.
Willow's notepad is running out.
I mean, isn't it just normal paper? I thought, like,
No, has to be
Got to get fancy wizard paper.
up to the side.
Ah.
is it?
So
Yeah.
the cost, the gold cost, is the cost of ink and paper.
I thought that was just
Mm.
like
I have the
combined,
gold.
like, guano and shit like that.
So
I
what,
thought
you
it was.
write it down with gold in your hand and then the gold just disappears?
Yeah, that sounds like a dream.
No.
That sounds like a good way to
It's
do it.
not Baldur's Gate 3. You need the utilities to do it.
Oh, okay. I thought like the whole point is like you bust out your wizard book and then you kind of like copy it or
That's it.
something.
Sure, but
That's the way I understood it.
You do, but you still need I think is it 50 gold's worth for necromancy spells, 100 gold for
Yeah.
for anything else. So you need
I think
that
it's just
value in
50
ink
gold for them
and
all.
paper. So
Mm,
it's the
okay.
same with
I always thought it was just the components itself. You know, like you need diamonds, ruined fine stuff like that. That's what I assumed.
Sorry, say that again.
I just always assumed it was for the components.
It is
If
a
you know what I
component.
mean.
It's a component to crafting the to copying the scroll into the book.
Yeah.
Anything where there's a gold cost to doing something, it's normally a gold cost of an item, whether that's a spell or literally anything else. The gold doesn't just vanish out of your coin purse and suddenly you're able to do the thing.
That sounds offensive.
The coin purses.
When
That's
you're
fine.
born around, it does vanish out your coin. But
What's that?
I made a joke about Laboran being a sneak thief.
Yeah.
I was too quiet.
Making gold vanish from your coin purse.
All right, guys. Is there anything else you
Sometimes
wanted
his own,
from
but-
Tabitha?
Not from Tabitha, no.
All right.
A crisp high five.
She does not return a crisp high five. She
I apologize.
gives a small kiss on Baldwin's cheek, wishes you a good evening, and as she leaves, she just turns and she says, "Keep your heads down, stay out of trouble, and when I have something for you, I'll come and find you again."
Trouble
Or
tends
Thank
to
you.
find
rolls
us.
eyes like a petulant child.
Yeah, she leaves the tent.
Right, so I don't know whether I still think something's up with Tandar in that whole story. I don't know whether he's been used or what. I think that's got something to do with the bigger picture here. Him and that weird fucking druid sitting off in the woods doing like God knows what, and he just was very vague about what he was saying. Like, how did he injure his leg? He didn't really say that. He didn't say anything else about who this guy was, why he was hanging around them, what all those crazy notions of being a druid were.
Hmm.
Mm.
I vote we return
I
the
don't know.
favor and poison someone.
I vote.
Yeah, I want to do that too.
We've got
Yes.
so we've got two options. We can save someone's life by feeding them poison food and then going, oh no, wait, it's poisoned, and then one takes a bite and is temporarily poisoned, fix it, to be like, look, it was poisoned, we saved your life. Or we poison someone for murder and we feed them it and they go, this looks suspicious, and then I take a bite and go, no, look, it's fine, and then they eat it and die.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we look like the poisoners and the killers.
Yeah, that does just look like we're going around poisoning random people, to be fair.
Yeah, like,
Willow.
I enjoy the. Let's keep that enthusiasm. Let's aim it in a different direction.
Fine.
Oh. Like, I'm all for the chaos, but
I'm the paladin.
We could do it
Let's
like
do
Emperor's
that.
New Groove style. We can do it like
Okay,
Emperor's New
well-
Groove style, where Kronk puts the poison in all the wines and kind of mixes it up and just kind of like spins the thing and just like, I don't know, just don't drink it. Don't drink it. Just kind of roulette with poisoned wine or something. I don't know, like
I'd like to know who was poisoning.
yeah, okay, well, Mom kind of helped out with like, you know, the bunny that I smelled earlier, that we saw earlier was it was still Kyler.
He was, I think, probably trying to confirm kill.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to see like what would happen and if we would
So we
take
are-
it and die or something.
Yeah, so we obviously knew 100%
He-
that he was poisoning us.
How long
Yeah.
ago
Um,
How long ago did these orc attacks start happening? Did you say about
4 to 5
5
weeks.
4 or 5
4 or
weeks?
5
yeah.
weeks? Oh, I was hoping the time.
He was taken
They
in
were
6
forced-
months ago.
Whatever
They were
came back.
forced out of the grove 5 weeks ago. They've been camping ever since.
Okay.
And Kyler came into play 6 months ago. Michael brought him back with his offering as well.
What if? I'm a, no, but what if the child's a double agent? Oh, that's a sentence I've never said before.
I was
What
thinking the
if
same
your
thing. I was
child is a double agent.
Yeah, Xandor
I was
said
thinking
this druid
of
could
that.
turn into anything. What if he turned
Maybe
into
child.
a Harlem? Yeah.
Could
This
be.
is all theoretical.
Yeah, the child could definitely be like I don't know if you guys seen the movie Orphan before.
What's a movie?
Yes, you mean the major image orphan?
Yeah,
Is this like the Black Panther thing again?
Yeah.
Orphan.
Yeah,
And
Is that-
even
Or
above
sheep.
the table, I've got no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
it's a horror movie
Orphan.
where there's like
Oh,
a
no,
30-year-old
yeah, I do
woman
know what you're
who has
about,
this
yeah.
condition
Yeah.
that makes her like a child.
That's
It
weird.
gets
Yeah.
really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's actually like 30 or something.
Yeah,
Like not actually a kid.
It gets so weird. Then you hear stories about filming it. It gets even weirder.
Mhm.
Excuse me.
Well, anyway, the equivalent of
Sorry.
that is what I think it is. I don't know. It could be. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a possibility. It could be a few things, really, but yeah.
I mean, will we have any magic to maybe, if to confirm our suspicions that he could maybe be using disguise self, or maybe
Dispel magic.
Yeah, dispel.
yeah, that's
we
too
have-
obvious. What if we're wrong? Like it'll look pretty bad. I don't know if there's
I mean,
anything passive
If,
we could
if
do.
someone casts the gift, then nothing happens.
Yeah.
Then
I mean, we'd still be
we
seen going up
can
to random
casting a
child. and
We're still, like,
going,
spell on a child.
Directing it. I was about to say we're directing it at a child, and the Bloodsongs will, get pissed
why
off
not
for sure.
announce it? Take the child to court, to druid court, in front of
A tribute.
an audience, and be like, "I accuse thee of being a sneak thief, murderer, assassin, man turned into baby."
We
can
don't
prove
have the
it with
whole-
Disguise-
casting of dispel magic.
Disguise self doesn't hold up to physical scrutiny, so I think someone would have noticed if they tried to pat him on the head and got a handful of bollock.
I know, but this isn't.
A handful of bollock?
Testicles.
Is that is that ass?
Testicle.
That is the front.
Nut sack.
Balls.
That's my favorite part of these conversations is when there's an American to English translation loss.
So
It says like the bollock. I've heard it using different connotations. I don't know.
Disguise self
like
only allows
context.
you to change height to a certain amount. So, like,
Yeah.
ever so slightly. So, and he is a small halfling child. So it would have to be somebody of equivalent size that is disguising.
Or it
self.
A gnome.
I
Or it
mean,
could just be
did,
walking on his knees.
The mechanically the only way that somebody could do that, as far as you're aware, is a shapeshifter.
Doppelganger.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think it'd be more than just disguise self. It'd be something innate within the more
Yeah.
polymorph spell or something like that. Something more powerful.
Yeah.
Do we know if doppelgangers are involved? Yeah, well, we did see a doppelganger back in Echo Wave Cave, so we know like they have some kind of involvement.
Did we see it?
Yes.
Well, I don't think Wave Echo was to do with the obelisk, was it?
Ooh,
No.
Wasn't that just the spider?
uh,
Yeah, it was just the
Or is it
spider, and he
hiding?
wanted to forge, didn't he?
oh wait, maybe I'm probably not then. No,
I am incredibly stupid, so I genuinely.
no,
don't
you're
know.
probably right.
The
Yeah,
spider.
I have meta reasons to
the
know the
spider
difference,
did
but I
have
don't-
the spider's intentions were regarding the cave itself and this forge of spells. We do know though that the spider at some point had an interaction with iteration 1. who
Ah,
does
right.
have a link to
Alex.
Yeah, that's weird changed. Yeah.
So they could have some involvement. Like it's pretty like it's far out there, but there could be a doppelganger, but don't know how to prove that.
And then if
I mean,
it is a
still could just be
doppelganger,
regardless whether that was one there or not.
spell magic wouldn't work on a doppelganger, because that's natural.
Mm.
And would a doppelganger be very nervous, or would they fake emotions like that to kind of like insinuate like, oh, like I'm my child and I'm very nervous and scared,
Yeah.
Or-
So yeah, I
or
think
would they actually be scared?
'Cause I
think
don't.
so.
Yeah, I think man turned child is yeah, I'm off it now.
I mean, it could just be polymorph. Then again, it'd have to be some pretty fucking good acting to come in and act all nervous like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to get at, to see like if I don't know if doppelgangers are very good at performing, or they actually are. That I would doubt they actually are like nervous and scared naturally. I don't know who's
Yeah.
playing the part.
I mean, I'd say to an extent, anyone who is disguised or polymorphed or a doppelganger or whatever probably would be able to like perform, but maybe not quite that level that they were. They looked like, or from what Willow saw, they were genuinely like scared and nervous to be in there.
Well, the question is, why would you? Why would you act like that? That was what made you suspicious in the first place. If you really were the one behind it, wouldn't you just come in and put it down and walk off again? Like, why did the child even know it was poisoned? Why tell them?
Yeah, I'm against.
Yeah, why
I'm
did
against-
Unless the child actually was the one that poisoned it. Maybe they're the inside person. That's how they got in, and maybe let the orcs in that way.
Maybe this child is just a child and they've got their parents or something like that, and they're saying you need to poison these people in
That's what we
order
think.
to.
I'm still up on this conspiracy theory that the blood songs are being framed. Somebody high up, I'm not saying it's your grandfather, but I think it might be your grandfather, is absolutely using Kyla to force him to do this, to try and kill her because he knows something about the bit of the obelisk.
How? Why would Kyle listen to my grandfather is one thing, and two, when would they ever have the chance to be alone where the blood songs wouldn't be an earshot of like this conspiracy?
I'm still
I
thinking through
mean,
the motions, but the guy,
he's just like a
everyone
12-year-old
says
boy or whatever. Right?
he's a 12-year-old boy and your grandfather's in charge of the camp. Like, why wouldn't he listen to him?
Well, I just don't think the blood songs would. I mean, either they know, like they're complicit with like the poisoning, or like well, it's either that or like I don't know. I don't see how my grandfather would just be able to like just to talk to Kyler like one-on-one without the blood songs like being in the vicinity.
Well, you've
like,
already said that he's acting a lot friendlier than they have previously, than you would expect them to. And then
Right.
if they're involved, there's nothing stopping him from backstabbing them. And then if we find out that it was him, he'll say, no, it was the blood songs because it was their child that delivered the poison.
Yeah,
I mean, we
it
could
could
always.
even be along a similar vein, but without it being your grandfather, it could be an outside source forcing Kyla to do it. Like I said, I mean, where did Michael pick up this random orphan? What happened to his parents?
Right. I mean, definitely we could maybe try to find him and speak to him and you know be upfront with our suspicions and what happened earlier this morning. We could always do that while the child's there to see maybe how he reacts or anything like that, or may pick up anything in private. No crowds.
I don't know if they'd speak to us at this point. The second I went, I wasn't even intending to get into a fight, and that was the result of it.
Yeah, I should have warned you about them.
Maybe we could. It's fine. Maybe we could send someone else to figure it out. Maybe we could snoop around their stuff, light on fire.
Oh, okay. I mean, you could easily probably sneak in when they're not there and maybe try to figure out something. And maybe,
have a mic
maybe knock
session.
over a candle or something by accident. I don't know. Maybe a match, lands on the fabric.
I mean, it could
Mistakes
just
happen.
Discussing arson again.
alchemical.
No, I'm just saying accidents can happen. You can knock over a lantern, a candle.
But anyway, like I think it is potentially a bit presumptuous to go in there and just find a letter saying, "Here's my evil plan."
Yeah, that's happened to me before.
You could find the mushroom that my mom was talking about.
Yeah, maybe.
Because she could probably link it like 1 and 2 with like with her Jewish craft.
I mean, maybe we
So.
could stay. We could stay up a little bit late, see if perhaps we see Kyla sneaking around at night, or one of the blood songs sneaking around, or your grandfather, just anyone.
Right.
See if is anyone meeting up with people or leaving the camp or something like that when they shouldn't be.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities.
Either way, guys, the evening draws in. Long rest is available if you would want to do that, but we can decide that next session because that's where we'll end it. And thank you for playing. Thank you for an awesome year, almost full year of this campaign.
Yep.
Have a wonderful Christmas and New Year. And we will see you back here on the checks notes 7th. All right, guys.
Righty.
Have a good one.
Solid.
Merry Crisis!
Hurrah!
Merry Chrysler.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.